From Doran Park in Bourne, Massachusetts, this is Braves Baseball. Alongside Joran Palacio, I'm Sam Wiederhaft. It's Game 2 of tonight's pair of games against the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. And Joran, for the first time this season, the Braves won the first half of a doubleheader.
Yeah, a little sense of urgency with this team in that game just about a half hour ago. 4-2 win. And Jimmy Glowacki, the main star of that game, 3 for 3 with a home run, 3 RBIs. Every single at-bat ended in an RBI for Glowacki. Right now, he's the hottest hitter, not only on this team, but one of the hottest hitters in the entire West Division.
We are rocking and rolling here at game number 2 of this doubleheader on Thursday Night Baseball. Let's take a look at how the Hyannis Harbor Hawks line up against Hayden King, who's starting for the Braves. It'll be Jordan Westberg leading it off. He's playing short yet again. Rigsby Mosley gets his first start of the evening. He's playing in left. Ian Fair, the first baseman, is batting in the 3 spot. Hunter Goodman in the cleanup. He's playing right. He had an RBI in the first game earlier today. Jared DeSantelo is the DH. Jackson Olson is playing third today. Adam Hackenberg, the catcher, he's in the 7 spot. Rowdy Jordan in center. And rounding it out will be Anthony Servideo playing second base. And I mentioned it, Joran, but Hayden King is on the mound making his second start against the Hyannis Harbor Hawks.
Yes, he is. And he's looking to pick up his first decision as a member of the Braves. He picked up that start against Hyannis earlier. He struck out 5 in that 4-2 win back on July 10th. We last saw him on the 20th coming out of the pen to work against Wareham. He threw 2 innings, no hits in that one strikeout in 6 batters faced. He went 1-2-3, 1-2-3. And now coming up against the worst team in the league against Hyannis, let's see if he can build up on that 5 strikeout number.
Jordan Westberg steps in the box, and we're about to get this one underway. Hayden King on the mound for the Braves. Robert Carmody, the catcher. Nick Bruiser at first. Cody Morrison at second. Jimmy Glowacki at short. Xavier Warren at third. Jake McKenzie in left. Giovanni DiGiacomo in center field. And Kyle Hess is in right. Braves move to 14-20-1 with the win earlier today against the Harbor Hawks. The season series is now still in favor of the Harbor Hawks, 3-2. And a win tonight could give the Braves an even series against statistically the worst team in the league. Hayden King comes set. Here's the first pitch to Jordan Westberg. It's off speed and outside as he opens this game up.
And we know Jordan Westberg, he struggled in the game ago, 0 for 3, a strikeout in there. And he's a kid that really Hyannis is leaning on, or should be leaning on here in the season.
1-0, Westberg flies it up. Left field, going in foul territory. McKenzie is moving in. He's in foul territory by the wall. He will make the catch out by the wall. A tough play for Jake McKenzie, but that's the first out of the inning on just 2 pitches from Hayden King.
And that's very efficient from Hayden King, and that's something that we've learned he's been able to do because the 5 strikeout number, and he's started off well and now has a chance to go against the first lefty he'll see in Rigsby Mosley.
Mosley steps up, playing in left field today. King comes set, the lefty kicks and fires. The first pitch is a fastball upstairs, called a ball. Mosley, a .224 average. He came in a pinch hit appearance and struck out. Game number 1. That was to end the game against Kieran Shaw. The 1-0 pitch is off the inside part of the bat. Slow roller to third. Xavier Warren picks it up. Barehand throw to first is wild, and it gets to the backstop, the wall. Mosley heads on over to second. Most likely will be credited with an infield single as he now gets to second. And Xavier Warren tries to pick it up barehand. The throw wouldn't have been in time anyways, but it ends up going to the wall, and Mosley's now in scoring position.
Yeah, a swinging bunt off the bat of Rigsby Mosley there past Hayden King. Xavier Warren, I think, just trying to do too much there. Bare hands it and throws it away. You get a lot of situations like that where players will try and make a play. You really can't take the athleticism out of an athlete. Warren acting off instincts there, but it costs him. He throws it to the right field fence, or the fence right by the away dugout, I should say, on the first base side. It's an infield single, and then Mosley advances to second on the air.
It is ruled a hit. Here's the first pitch to Ian Fair, a fastball on the outside part of the plate, called a strike. Fair went 1 for 3 with a run scored, and his one hit was a triple against the Braves in Game 1. He's gotten a hit in 10 of his last 11 games, had a 9-game hit streak broken on July 22nd against Orleans in a 4-2 loss. 0-1 is off speed. He just fouls off first base side. It falls behind 0-2. The big thing about this game today, the Braves' magic number right now is at 5. A win here would give them 2 points and also lose 2 points for Hyannis, making their magic number 1, which would be a tie. Now, if Hyannis could win out and the Braves lose out, the best Hyannis could do would be to tie. The tiebreaker, the first one, is going to go to the season series. Well, if the Braves win this game, the season series would be tied. So it goes to the second tiebreaker in the West record, and the Braves have a better Western record than the Harbor Hawks do as King steps off the mound. So this would be a win here for the Braves, would clinch a playoff berth. They'd be the 4th team in the West to do it. So the West bracket would be totally set if the Braves win tonight.
And not necessarily totally set in terms of seeds, but all 4 teams we would know would be in. It'd be so interesting as well if every single team in the West can clinch before a single team does so in the East.
Here's the 0-2 from Hayden King off speed, and Fair just fouls it off toward the backstop. Will remain 0-2. Fair on the season is batting an even .400. 22 for 55. This is his 18th game. 4 doubles, 1 triple, no homers on the year, just 5 RBIs, but he can get on base. On base percentage is over .430. King comes set. Rigsby Mosley over at second. He gives him a look. Now fires the 0-2, and Fair will foul it off toward the seats on the first base side again. We'll do the 0-2 again.
And we know Hayden King, that start against Hyannis, had 5 strikeouts and only 3 innings of work. So half the batters he faced, he was able to strike out. So he is a guy who will go up on the mound and get batters out, put the pitches past hitters. And he's got an opportunity to do that here against Dean Fair.
Fair went 3 for 3 in that game on July 10th. The 0-2 pitch bounces in front of Robert Carmody, and Rigsby Mosley will easily stroll into third. A wild pitch that bounced before the plate from Hayden King gets away from Carmody. Hyannis has a run 90 feet away, and Joran, the first inning runs have become such a big story. Now, the past 5 games, the Braves have allowed at least 1 run in the 4th inning, and in the first inning, Fair can do something here and make it 6 games in a row.
Well, it would be more likely than not, you'd imagine, that run comes in to score. It's just so weird for this team, especially this pitching staff, which was tops in the league for a while, to have this trend keep going the way it has.
The 1-2 is a high and outside fastball from King. We'll even up the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1 out, top of the first inning. Runner on third for the Harbor Hawks. 0-0 score. Braves already with an error from Xavier Warren. Now the 2-2 pitch on Fair. It's off speed. Got him swinging. Hayden King works that beautiful breaking ball, and Fair was way out in front. That's the second out of the first.
Yeah, nice pitch there from Hayden King. Did well to get him going on that pitch. And now you have 2 outs in the inning. Everybody will go back. No need to play up on the infield grass anymore. The problem is you're going up against the RBI leader in the league.
And this is the 3rd time in 2 games that Hunter Goodman has come up in a runner on third situation. First pitch to Goodman. He takes to left field, deep left field. McKenzie is moving back on it, turns his head. It's out of here. Hunter Goodman, for the 7th time this season, homers, and he adds to that league-leading RBI number. Now it's at 34, and Hyannis is on the board 2-0.
Yeah, make it 6 games in a row where the Braves have given up runs in the first inning. A no-doubter off the bat of Hunter Goodman, and he watched that one as well. He was really admiring his work there, and we've seen now 2 home runs in the past 2 games, and we're only in the first inning of this one. And Hyannis with the 2-0 lead, 2nd game in a row that they've been able to get on the board as well in the first inning.
7 home runs for Goodman. That's 2nd place, and a big tie for 2nd place in the league. He homered a couple of nights ago against Orleans. As DeSantolo now comes up. First pitch to DeSantolo is a slow rolling ground ball. Hayden King moves to his right side, picks it up, throws the opposite way over to first, and it's in time to get DeSantolo. But the Hyannis Harbor Hawks get on the board first in the top of the first inning. Hunter Goodman has his 34th RBI in a big way. 2-run home run to left field has Hyannis on top. 2-0. We head to the bottom half. You're watching Braves Baseball on YouTube. Bottom of the first inning, and for the 6th game in a row, the Braves face a first inning deficit. Here's how the Braves will line up for this nightcap of tonight's doubleheader. Cody Morrison, who's stepping up to the plate, will lead it off, followed by Xavier Warren, Judd Fabian, Jimmy Glowenke in that cleanup spot. 3 RBIs for him in the last game, including his 2nd homer of the year. Kyle Hess follows him. Nick Bruiser, Jake McKenzie, Giovanni DiGiacomo, and Robert Carmody round out the lineup up against Tommy McCollum, who's still new to this Harbor Hawks team, only making his 2nd start of the season. McCollum's into the windup. The first pitch is low to Morris at 1-0.
Yeah, McCollum from Wingate University has yet to register a decision in the game. He's 0-0 in ERA of 5.4. He made his one and only start on the 17th against Catuit.
1-0 is a fastball outside. Morissette lays off. 2 balls and no strikes.
Yeah, in that game against Catuit, going through 3 1/3 inning, giving up 2 runs, both third off of 3 hits. He faced 15 batters, struck out 3 as well.
2-0 is outside, and Morissette has an early advantage, 3 balls and no strikes. Adam Hackenberg, the catcher behind the plate. Ian Fair, Anthony Servideo at second. Jordan Westberg at short. Jackson Olsen at third. Here's the 3-0 pitch to Morissette. He watches for a strike. Rigsby Mosley in left. Rowdy Jordan in center field. And Hunter Goodman in right, coming off the first inning 2-run home run. Here's the 3-1 to Morissette. Gets contact, fouls it off toward the backstop, and the count now runs full, 3-2.
Yeah, this will be big. It depends on, so much about baseball is momentum based, and all the momentum going right now for Hyannis. You get a big 2-run home run. If you're able to go out and work a clean inning, it does a ton for your confidence for not only Tommy McCollum on the mound, but the entire team.
Here's the payoff from the righty. Morissette takes the other way to deep left field. It will get out by the wall and hop over the fence. A ground rule double for Cody Morissette. That's his 3rd double in 3 games.
How about that? Cody Morissette, he leads things off in the last game with the double. A little shallow fly ball in the center field. He makes a great base running decision and stretches a single into a double. But here, no need to stretch anything out. It's a double, and you know what? He's probably a little unhappy that that ball bounced over the fence, because if it stays in the park, he's probably rounding second, and he's probably sliding into third with a triple. But the Braves will take it. A leadoff double for Cody Morissette's 2nd game in a row.
Morissette doubled against Catuit. He doubled earlier today and now doubles in his first at-bat. Now Xavier Warren coming up, runner already in scoring position. First pitch is off speed and inside. Warren watches. 1 ball and no strikes. Warren had 1 to forget, 0 for 3 in the first game. Average has dropped to 256. A team RBI leader as McCollum comes set, kicks and fires the 1-0 pitch. Warren fouls it off on the backstop. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And Xavier Warren here, the RBI leader, an opportunity here to add another RBI.
Reminder, this game will also be 7 innings, as was the first. McCollum hands me the bell. Here's the 1-1 pitch off speed. Warren watches it for a strike on the outside part of the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Xavier Warren has been hitless in his past 2 games. He went 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts against the Kettleers on Tuesday night. Turns back, looks at second. Here's the 1-2 delivery. It's a fastball, and Xavier Warren on a half-hearted swing goes down swinging. Certainly didn't mean to swing at that pitch, but it was just that good of a pitch by McCollum. He strikes out Warren for his first strikeout of the evening.
And that's a big out there, because the strikeout, of course, is so unproductive as an out. Your job there as a hitter with a runner on second with nobody out is at the very least get Morissette over to third base. Warren fails to do so. Now it falls on to Judd Fabian to do so.
Yeah, Fabian went on 1 for 3 in the first game earlier today. The first pitch is low, bounces in front of Adam Hackenberg, the catcher. Scored a run, also struck out. And Fabian on the season is now batting .303. One of the 6 All-Stars for the Braves. He went 1 for 2 with the stolen base on Sunday's All-Star game at Eldridge Park. The 1-0 is off speed, and Fabian just gets a bat on it. 1 ball and 1 strike. Has 5 home runs on the year. Before that home run by Hunter Goodman, he was the only player in the league to have 6 home runs. He homers. Now he's in about a 4-way tie with 7 for second place in the league. Here's the 1-1 to Fabian. It's a fastball he takes right back up the middle. Morissette will come home. Fabian stays over at first. The Braves get on the board. Morissette scores. 2-1 score. Hyannis still leads.
Nice job there by Judge Fabian taking that pitch where it's pitched, straight back up to center, right back up the middle. Nothing McCollum could do about that, and neither could Rowdy Jordan out in center field. He fields it. He looks up. Morissette's already halfway home. He doesn't have a play, and the Braves on the board. And now here's the man you want up at the plate in Jimmy Glowenke.
Glowenke, a huge game. 3 for 3 earlier today, a home run, 3 RBIs. 3 out of the 4 runs scored were because of him. The first pitch is a fastball low and inside. He watches for a ball, 1-0. He's raised his average now to 305. 2 homers on the year, 15 RBIs. He's challenging Xavier Warren for that team leading spot. The 1-0 pitch is low. And Glowenke now is ahead, 2 balls and no strikes. Fabian's over at first. 1 out, bottom of the first inning, 2-1 lead for Hyannis. Glowenke with a 7-game hitting streak. 2-0. He watches low, 3-0.
Yeah, and for Jimmy Glowenke, it felt like there was always just a certain time that he would be able to come around for this team. When you look at his numbers from Dallas Baptist, he's one of the most decorated freshmen in school history there. He had a pretty solid sophomore year. It just took a little bit to really find his groove, and man, is he in a groove right now.
Here's the 3-0 pitch. Glowenke watches low. It's a 4-pitch walk to Jimmy Glowenke, and the Braves have runners on first and second. Well, that could have been a case of Tommy McCollum pitching around the dangerous cleanup hitter. And now you bring up Kyle Hess, who didn't play in the first game today.
Yeah, I mean, a walk doesn't kill you there if you're Hyannis. You have first base open. Now you can go ahead and try and attack Kyle Hess here. Ground ball gets you out of the inning.
Here's the first pitch to Kyle Hess. It's off speed upstairs at the letters for a ball, 1-0. 200 average, 12 for 60, 6 runs scored, 8 RBIs, a home run. And Hess is coming off an 0-for-3 performance with 2 strikeouts against the Kettleers earlier this week. The 1-0 fastball is low and out. 2-0. Kyle Hess coming off a hot streak where he homered against Harwich in that 2-1 victory. That was the only runs the Braves needed that game. McCollum comes set. The righty kicks and fires the 2-0 fastball right down the middle. Hess lays off. 2 balls and 1 strike. Home plate umpire Mark Delaney. Dave Vivieros is at first. And Jason Klump is at third, your umpiring crew for the nightcap of today's doubleheader. Here's the 2-1 on Hess. Fastball, Hess watches low. It's now a 3-1 count, and already signs of some irritation for Tommy McCollum. He's struggling with location.
Yeah, he is definitely struggling with location. And here, if you're Kyle Hess, you kind of eyes get real big here. 3-1, you know it's going to be a fastball. If it's in your zone here, I think he's going to unload on it.
The 3-1 on Kyle Hess, he swings at and fouls off toward the backstop. The count now runs full, 3-2. 1 out, still in the bottom of the first inning. 2-1 lead for Hyannis. Runners on first and second for the Braves. Kyle Hess with a 3-ball and 2-strike count. Hess has only walked 5 times this year. Here's the payoff pitch. Grounder over to third. Jackson Olsen spins around. Throws to second is in time. The throw to first is low. Kyle Hess beats it out, so he gets on the fielder's choice. As Glowenke is thrown out over at second for the second out of the inning. Braves have runners on the corners for Nick Bruiser.
Yeah, too much of a big play there for Olsen to turn 2. He had to go down to a knee to field that ball and then spin around to make the throw at second to Rowdy Jordan, who by the time his throw reached first base, Hess was already there. Runners on the corners now, and this man up at the plate looking to get it going.
First pitch to Nick Bruiser is off speed and curves outside of the strike zone. Called a ball, 1-0. Bruiser got some time in the first game playing first, but never got an official at-bat. Has a 261 average, 12 for 46. He struck out in 13 of 17 games. The 1-0 is off-speed. Bruiser way out in front on the swing. 1 ball, 1 strike. He's coming off a 1-for-2 game against the Kettleers on Tuesday. He got a double, came around to score, and also walked. Bruiser taking out Cade Beloso, who had another rough one. An 0-for performance against the Harbor Hawks earlier today. The 1-1 from McCollum is off speed. Bruiser fouls it off. Kyle Hess was going on that pitch. The count now 1-2. And Joram, we saw it a lot in the first game, but a lot of hit and run plays called by Harvey Shapiro.
Yeah, and I think that's what you like to see from Harvey Shapiro. You know, he started the season real passive on the base paths, real safe, you know, real by the book. And as the rest of the league is stealing bases, I think if the Braves can pull some steal situations in there, I think they can be real dangerous.
Runners on first and third. Bruiser slaps one to right field. Diving is Servideo. Throws to first. It's in time. Nick Bruiser has an RBI taken away by Anthony Servideo at second on a diving play. His throw to first retires Bruiser, but the Braves get on the board. An RBI single by Judd Fabian. They now trail 2-1 as we approach the second inning. Harbor Hawks in the lead. You're watching Braves Baseball on YouTube. Six, seven, eight, due up in the top of the second inning. Hyannis with a 2-1 lead after Hunter Goodman's 2-run shot to left field in the first. Braves get one back on an RBI single by Judd Fabian. And now it'll be Jackson Olsen leading it off for the Harbor Hawks against Hayden King. Facing him for the first time. It's a lefty on lefty matchup. Olsen went 1 for 3 with a strikeout in the first game. The first pitch is low from Hayden King. 1 ball and no strikes.
Now see how King settles in. We talked about the last 6 games in a row, including tonight's game. The Braves have given up runs in the first inning, but in every single game, the pitcher has been able to come back and settle in.
1-0 is high and tight, 2-0. Of course, Hayden King did not originally start out the season with the Bourne Braves. He was originally placed in Chatham for the Anglers. Pitched in 3 games, started 1. The 2-0 Olsen, little chopper over to second. Morissette gloves it, almost takes a bad hop, but he contains it. Throw to first is in time, and Olsen is retired. 1 out in the top of the second inning. King with the Anglers had an 0-1 record, a 10.80 ERA. He only pitched in 5 innings, allowed 6 earned runs, 4 strikeouts, 3 walks, and 5 hits, but he's been granted a new life with the Bourne Braves. Has been doing well so far. Has 6 strikeouts on the year and just it's only being his second start.
Yeah, it's just how different situations are. You come to the West Division and his ERA at a 1.58. He's only given up 1 run coming into today's game with the Braves.
First pitch to Adam Hackenberg is a breaking ball inside. Hackenberg did not play in the first game against the Braves today. It's catching tonight. The 1-0 pitch skied in foul territory on the first base side. Going toward the seats. Nick Bruiser will watch it go over the fence. Hackenberg, a rising sophomore out of Clemson. .212 average playing in his 18th game. He's 11 for 52, 1 double, 2 home runs, 5 RBIs. Coming off a 1 for 4 game against Orleans with 2 strikeouts. King comes set. Here's the 1-1. Off speed and outside. It's now 2-1 on Hackenberg.
Yeah, and for Hayden King, I think it'd be nice for him, like we were saying, to really settle in here into the second inning. We saw Harrison Rakowski give up the 2 runs in the first, but those are the only 2 runs given up in the entire ball game.
2-1. Fastball inside, called a strike. Evens up the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Saw Ryan Cusick against YD give up a couple runs in the first inning. That was all that was given up. We saw just yesterday, or not yesterday, but a couple days ago against Katuitt. The Kettleers scored 2 runs early in that game, but after that, they were held to nothing.
Hayden King slips off the mound. Hackenberg's back in the box. 2-2 count. King comes set. He kicks and fires the 2-2 off speed. Hackenberg flies it to right field. Kyle Hess moving in. Now he's under it. Will make the catch for out number 2. 2 quick outs for Hayden King on the mound. And that'll bring up Rowdy Jordan. Well, the Braves moved their record up to 14-20-1 on the year. Their West record increases to 7-10-1. And their home record is now 9-8. So just 1 game over 500. They have a home field advantage. Played some of their best games right here at Durham Park. Here's the first pitch to Rowdy Jordan. It's a fastball outside. Called a ball, 1-0.
And Rowdy Jordan coming into today's game, not necessarily lighting the world on fire, despite his fantastic name.
It's not his given name. Here's the 1-0. I'm speeding in the zone. His mom did not want to have Rowdy on the birth certificate. So the Rowdy part is just a nickname, but it would be cool.
That's what he goes by. They just wanted to keep the birth certificate a little cleaner. His real name is William.
1-1, swinging strike 2. Hayden King is now up in the at-bat, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, that was a great pitch there from Hayden King. Actually had Jordan down on a knee. That's how much the knee buckler that was on the off speed there from Hayden King.
Yeah, real name is William Kevin Jordan. A lot more formal than Rowdy,
Yeah,
but
no,
Rowdy's
cool.
a great baseball name, no doubt. King comes set. Here's the 1-2 pitch on Jordan. It's off speed. He fouls it off toward the Braves dugout. Nobody on, 2 outs. Top of the second inning, 2-1 lead for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. And this game would knock them out of any playoff picture. The Braves would clinch a spot on a tiebreaker with a win tonight. Would make the playoffs for the first time since their 2017 finals run, where they made the final game and lost to Brewster. Wind up in the 1-2 pitch off speed. Jordan watches it for a close call. It's called a ball by home plate umpire Mark Delaney. Very close, but it's 2-2.
Yeah, about half the team was running into the dugout when that pitch crossed the plate. It just missed the zone high. So now Jordan given a new life here at 2-2.
King from UNLV kicks and fires the 2-2 fastball outside. Rowdy Jordan lays off, and the count now runs full, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
You don't want to make a mistake here. 3-2. You almost had your third strike. We'll see what Hayden King has the most confidence in, which pitch he has the most confidence in, because that's what he's going to give Jordan here on this 3-2.
It's a left-handed pitcher, right-handed batter matchup. Here's the 3-2 pitch on Rowdy Jordan. Fastball just a little bit outside, and Rowdy Jordan is on with a 2-out walk.
That was another bang pitch right there. Borderline strike. Once again, half the team running off the field. They don't get the call from Mark Delaney, so now Anthony Servideo comes to the plate here, and let's see if Hyannis can take advantage of this new life they've been given.
And Servideo, another player that did not play in the first game, coming off an 0-for-4 game against Orleans on July 22nd. Throw back over to first. Jordan's back in time. Servideo has a 138 average, rising sophomore out of Ole Miss. He's 12 for 87, 11 runs scored, 4 doubles, 3 RBIs. Here's the first pitch to Servideo. It's a fastball he watches for strike one.
And Servideo has been struggling against lefties. The stat that we've seen coming into this game, Sam, 0 for 36 against lefties this season.
And he's 1 for his last 15, hitless in his last 3 games. King throws back over to first, and now they have Rowdy Jordan in a pickoff move. Throw over to second. Glowenke applies the tag, and Rowdy Jordan is caught stealing. We saw that in the first game where the Braves caught Hunter Goodman stealing. This time it's Rowdy Jordan, and in the middle of Servidio's at-bat, the Braves get out of it unharmed. No runs on no hits for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. Going to the bottom of the second inning, still a 2-1 lead for Hyannis. You're watching Braves Baseball on YouTube. Jake McKenzie leads off the Braves in the bottom of the second inning against Tommy McCollum. 2-1 lead for the Harbor Hawks. McCollum into the windup. The first pitch falls before the plate and low. McKenzie watches for a first pitch ball. McKenzie went 0 for 1 with a walk and a strikeout. He had a sacrifice hit as well in the first half of the doubleheader tonight. 1-0. Off speed and a swinging strike from McKenzie evens up this count. 1 ball and 1 strike. His average is at 246. He had his 6th stolen base of the year. 1-1. Fastball he just fouls off toward the backstop. 1-2. You can now make that team total 11 stolen bases, and 6 of them belong to Jake McKenzie. So if he gets on, he can be a threat. But the Braves have that league last number of stolen bases. Here's the 1-2. It's a fastball inside, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, and McKenzie becoming consistent in the fact that while he might not get a hit every single game, you can usually expect him on base every single game. No matter he gets on with a walk, a hit by pitch, he's always finding a way to get on first.
The 2-2 is skied behind the press box, out of play. And McKenzie's a player who's typically used to playing the infield, but Harvey Shapiro has had to use him in the outfield quite a lot of times. He's playing left today, and he's had to adjust to a new position. Earlier in the year, we saw him make some errors in the outfield. 2-2. He swings at it, lifts it high, first base side, moving out of play. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes. But a lot of adjusting to do for somebody who's typically used to playing either second or short. Moving to outfield now, it's a totally different position.
Yeah, it absolutely is, and it definitely takes an adjustment period. And, for most of these guys, they grew up probably playing in the infield. So for McKenzie, he's probably been there for most of his life.
The 2-2 is low, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
So to be tossed out into the outfield for likely, the first or second time, especially at this level, it's a whole new ball game. It has a whole new meaning.
Payoff on McKenzie is a check swing. He did not go. The appeal to first base umpire Dave Vivieros says he doesn't, and McKenzie is on with his 2nd walk of the evening, first of this game.
Just like as I was saying, he doesn't necessarily have to get a hit every single game, but more oftentimes than not, he finds a way onto first base. He does so with a walk, and now the Braves can make something happen here in this home half of the second inning.
Here's the left-handed batter, Giovanni DiGiacomo. Squares around to bunt, pulls it back, and watches a fastball inside for a ball. Always see him square around to bunt on that first pitch. That time he pulls it back. He's only laid it down one time. Has a 241 average, 7 for 29, 1 double, 4 runs scored, 13 strikeouts. Has a stolen base on the year as well. 1-0. And off goes McKenzie. DiGiacomo tries to lay one down, and he fouls it off toward the backstop.
Yeah, a bit of a, you don't normally see a suicide squeeze from first base, but that's exactly what the Braves just tried to run right there. McKenzie stealing on the pitch. DiGiacomo trying to get the bunt down. It was quite clearly going to be a ball, but he offers that just to try and get it down to make sure he gets to second base. So now at 1-1, we'll see if McKenzie takes off again.
He takes about a 2-step lead off first. Ian Fair's covering the bag. Now he moves over. Throw back over to first by McCollum. And McKenzie gets back in time. The Braves have a league low 11 stolen bases on the year. It's been like that since the beginning. McCollum comes set. McKenzie's off running again. The pitch is high. Throw over to second. McKenzie will be tagged out. The throw from Adam Hackenberg was just in time and perfectly placed. Jordan Westberg covering, tags McKenzie out. He's caught stealing.
And that's a bang-bang play over there at second base. Jason Klump making the call at second base. It was very, very close, and I think the placement of the throw is what did it for Jake McKenzie. It looked like he was going to be in there safely, but that throw could not have been placed more perfect.
The 2-1 on DiGiacomo is a fastball right down the pipe for a called strike, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, Hackenberg placed that ball right where McKenzie was sliding. Westberg caught it, barely had to move his arm, and tagged McKenzie out. The 2-2 pitch is lifted high to deep right field. Hunter Goodman is moving over toward the line, and he will watch it foul, bounce right in front of him. And still a 2-2 count on DiGiacomo, who on that foul ball had ran all the way to second base.
Yeah, it only landed foul by about 2 feet or so. So definitely one that you have to run out. And if that had landed fair, that could have been a triple for DiGiacomo, because if it lands on the fair side of the field, you never know which way it's going to bounce. Goodman didn't really look comfortable going after and fielding it. So if it lands fair, DiGiacomo could be standing on third, but instead he's got a battle here on 2-2.
2-2. There's a pitch inside. DiGiacomo thinks about it, but holds off, and the count runs full. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Robert Carmody is due up next. Then back to the top of the lineup for the Braves. 1 out, nobody on. Bottom of the second inning, Tommy McCollum calls timeout, tying his right shoe on the mound. 2 hits for either team, 2-1 lead for the Harbor Hawks. Here's the payoff on DiGiacomo. It's off speed outside. He watches it for a walk, and he runs over to first. DiGiacomo gets on. That's 2 walks in a row.
Yeah, it's a shame, because if McKenzie had stayed put at first base, he'd be standing on second base right now, but that's sort of the what-ifs. And it's dangerous to get into those, especially in baseball. So now, instead of runners on first and second with nobody out, you runner on first with 1 out here, and Robert Carmody, who's still trying to get his footing in this league.
And Carmody got his first RBI of the season a couple nights ago against Katsua. The first pitch is low and outside. Comes into this game batting 143. He's just 1 for 7. An RBI, a run scored, 1 walk, and 1 strikeout. He went 0 for 3 against Katua, but grabbed that RBI, also struck out. The 1-0, DiGiacomo's off running. The pitch is a called strike. Throw over to second. That one is not in time, and DiGiacomo has his second stolen base of the year.
Not even close, too. DiGiacomo was easily safe in there at second base, and you have to wonder why he hasn't been doing more of that, because he was sliding into second base safely, almost oversliding second base by the time that Jordan Westberg caught the throw down from Adam Hackenberg. Now a base hit probably gets him in.
McCollum comes set, looks back over at second, kicks and fires the 1-1 off speed outside. Carmody lays off. 2 balls and 1 strike. For DiGiacomo, he stole his first base of the year on Monday against the YD Red Sox. That's now the 12th stolen base for the Braves this year. 2-1. Fastball, Carmody slowly hit up the middle. Reaching for it as Servideo throws across his body. It's in time. Carmody is retired, but DiGiacomo gets over to third. So in a shortened 7-inning game, the Braves have the tying run 90 feet away, and they're back up to the top of the lineup in Cody Morissette, who got that leadoff double to begin this game for the Braves.
Yeah, and he's coming up swinging a hot bat, 3 doubles in as many games. And for Robert Carmody there, he did his job there nicely, not necessarily hit it to the right side of the field, but that slow roller right back up the middle was more than enough to get to Giacomo the third. And it's important because now a wild pitch or something past Hackenberg behind the plate can score to Giacomo.
Here's the first pitch to Morissette. It's a fastball inside. Morissette lays off. He doubled and came around to score in the first inning. His 8th run scored on the year. Has now 4 doubles on the season. Here's the 1-0 pitch. It's off speed, and Morissette was way out in front on the swing. 1 ball and 1 strike. The Giacomo over a third, 2 outs, top or bottom of the second inning, 2-1 lead for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. The bottom 2 teams in the West meeting for their second doubleheader of the season. The 1-1 is slapped. It gets out of play. Morissette's now down 1-2.
And you have to be wary of a strikeout here from Tommy McCullum. It'd be big confidence boost to him if he's able to walk 2 people in a row and get out of the inning without giving up a run.
The 1-2 on Morissette is a breaking ball outside, misses location. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Morissette, the Braves all-star, 1 of 6. Now McCullum comes set, kicks and fires the 2-2. Morissette lifts to left center field. Rigsby Mosley will get under it. He'll make the play for the 3rd out of the inning. So the Braves leave a runner over on 3rd. Don't bring anybody home on no hits, no runs. 2-1 lead for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. We head to the 3rd. Watch Braves baseball on YouTube. Top of the 3rd inning, Harbor Hawks with a 2-1 lead. They've had the lead since the top of the 1st inning. It'll be Anthony Servideo in the 9 spot. And back to Jordan Westberg, the leadoff batter, Rigsby Mosley in the hole. Due up in the top of the 3rd. Servideo was in the middle of an at-bat when Rowdy Jordan was picked off over at first by Hayden King. He begins his 3rd inning of work with 1 strikeout. Allowed 2 hits, 2 runs. And that 2-run home run by Hunter Goodman in the first has been the big blow so far. First pitch is off speed down the middle for a strike on Servideo.
And it's just so strange, too, with this team, because that's been the common thread with the Braves is their pitching staff has been always so good, but to give up runs in the first inning in 6 consecutive games just seems just so weird.
0-1, little chopper over to second. Morissette gloves it. The throw with the right hand ends in time. And Servideo is retired. And the Braves pitching staff started out in the first half so strong. Was in the top 3 of runs allowed, top 3 in ERA, and they've dropped off on that because the bullpen has been so inconsistent.
It has been pretty inconsistent, but that being said, in terms of runs allowed, they come into this game at 136, now 138. I mean, that's good enough for third best in the league, so a pretty still strong pitching staff.
First pitch to Westberg is a breaking ball in the zone. Westberg watches it. He's 0 for 1. Fly out to left in his first at-bat. Oh and 1. And Westberg, a little fly ball into left center field. McKenzie is running in on it. He will make the catch for out number 2. And Westberg now will fall to 0 for 10 against the Braves in his last 10 at-bats ever since he hit the home run in the doubleheader on July 10th. He has not gotten a hit since against the Braves since that home run.
Yeah, it's kind of suffering from the Cade Beloso effect because Westberg is better than what he's playing at. He's just not been able to perform. And it's the same thing for Cade Beloso, who started off white hot and has really cooled down since.
First pitch to Rigsby Mosley. He swings at it, lifts a high fly ball, center field. Routine for Giovanni DiGiacomo. He puts it away for out number 3, and the Harbor Hawks go down in order, 9-1-2. Hayden King deals. In the top of the third inning, we head to the bottom half. 2-1 lead for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. You're watching Braves Baseball on YouTube.
Number 27 from Central Michigan.
Xavier Warren will lead off for the Braves in the bottom of the third. 2-1 lead for Hyannis. Tommy McCollum still on the mound against the Braves. Has only allowed 2 hits so far. 1 to Judd Fabian and 1 to Cody Morissette. Those both being in the first inning. Here's the first pitch to the lefty, Xavier Warren. First pitch is a ball low. Warren, of course, the switch hitter, typically bats from the left, but every once in a while you'll see him bat from the right side against a left-handed pitcher. Here's the 1-0. Fastball low. Warren's ahead in this count, 2 balls and no strikes. He's 0 for 1. Struck out swinging in the first inning. 2-0. Warren, a hard swinging strike on a 2-0 pitch, now 2-1.
Yeah, and he's been going through a little bit of a slump himself, but that's been pretty much his season, is that he'll have 3 or 4 hot games in a row, and then he'll go through 3 or 4 pretty ice-cold games.
The 2-1 pitch is fouled off. And for Warren, I'd like to call him the most consistent player for the Braves. And the fact that he's been inconsistent on the batting side, but he's been so consistent in the fact that he's going to start every game.
Yeah, consistently inconsistent.
Yeah, there's been no question about his starting place at third as he fouls off the 2-2 yet again on the third base side. So he'll see another one. Warren has only gotten 2 off days this entire year. McCollum into the windup, kicks and fires the 2-2, and Warren fouls it off this time back toward the backstop. Here he remains in the at-bat.
And he's been the workhorse for this team. He's the guy that you can always go to and expect. You're going to get 3 at-bats and a solid fielding job at third base as well.
The 2-2 is high. Warren lays off and actually gets past Adam Hackenberg. And Xavier Warren has now run the count full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. He has 3 home runs on the year. Hasn't homered since July 16th against YD in that 9-4 loss. The payoff is a little floater to right field that'll get down in front of Hunter Goodman. He fumbles it, but Xavier Warren has a leadoff single for his first hit of the night.
Yeah, nice job there by Xavier Warren. Hooked it down the right field line, and the ball took a little bit of a funny hop. Hunter Goodman actually almost overran it, and if he did, he would have had some trouble. And it looks like we might have a pitching change here. Chad Gassman coming out to the mound, and this might be it for Tommy McCollum.
There will be a new pitcher for the Harbor Hawks as Chad Gassman is going to pull the plug on Tommy McCollum after suffering a leadoff single to Xavier Warren in the bottom of the third. So we'll take a quick break. Hyannis on top, 2-1. We're in the middle of the bottom of the third inning. Xavier Warren has just gotten on, a new pitcher for the Harbor Hawks. You're watching Braves Baseball on YouTube. Judd Fabian coming up against the new pitcher, Jonah Scalaro, for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, Jordan.
Yeah, out of Florida State University, Scalaro 1-3 on the year, and the Braves already working into the bullpen. And we all know about this fabled Hyannis bullpen. Scalaro is no exception, an ERA at 7.87, making his 7th appearance in this game today. He's thrown 8 innings, and in those 8 innings, he's given up 7 runs. He's thrown against the Braves before. Back on July 10th, he threw 1 in the 3rd inning, getting the loss in that 4-2 decision and giving up 2 runs on just 2 hits.
First pitch to Judd Fabian is flied out foul. Scalaro, a rising junior out of Florida State University, only stands at 5'10", one of the shorter pitchers, especially when you're in the Cape League and you see guys all over the place that are 6'5", 6'6", a couple 6'7s". He's a lefty. He comes set. Throws back over to first. Warren's back in time. Fabian, an RBI single in the first inning. That's been the only scoring for the Braves so far. They trail 2-1. They lead the hit battle 3-2. 0-1 on Fabian. Off speed, Fabian swinging way out in front. He falls behind 0-2.
And Scalaro last pitching 8 days ago against Katuitz at Lowell Park. He actually picked up the loss in that game. He only threw a third of an inning, gave up 1 run off 2 hits and 3 batters, and picked up the loss in that decision.
Scalaro's hands meet at the chest. Looks back over at first. Kicks and fires the 0-2 off speed that just misses high. It gets behind Adam Hackenberg, and Xavier Warren will cruise into second safely. No throw from Hackenberg.
Yeah, and those are one of those big errors right there. It's not going to go as an error, but a pass ball from Hackenberg, just couldn't catch it. It was a very catchable ball, but now the runner Warren moves from first to second.
Tying runs over at second base, no outs in the bottom of the third. Scalaro struggling all year. Here's the 1-2 on Fabian. It's outside check swing. Appeal over to second. He did not go. Call being made by Dave Vivieros. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And I cannot imagine the uproar it would cause if an umpire in the B or C position right by second base called a batter out on a check swing appeal from that position. Could you imagine?
I could not. That'd be... Turns back and looks at second. That would be obviously not the right perspective to make that call.
No, absolutely not. But stranger things have happened.
We've seen Cade Beloso called for a strike on a suspected lean in when he got hit by a pitch. That's probably been the craziest call that I've seen this year. Scalaro looks back over at second, and time is called by Mark Delaney. Pitch was low, but it's a no pitch.
Yeah, Fabian called time, or he's going to call time right as Scalaro was kicking into his windup. Fabian was trying just to raise his right hand, and when he realized Scalaro was going into his motion, he put his hand back on the bat and was preparing for the pitch. He got the time call anyway, though. Now has to reset here on 2-2.
Here's the 2-2 from Scalaro. It's off speed and inside. Judd Fabian is gone swinging. He goes down for the first time tonight on strikes. And there's that recurring problem we see for Judd Fabian. He's down with his first strikeout of tonight for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, and I think that's just an age thing. Judd Fabian just becoming, or needs to become, just a little bit more plate discipline. But that happens when you're only 18 years old and you're playing against some of the best pitchers collegiately in the country.
Now here's Glowenke. Got on with a walk in the first inning. First pitch from Scalaro is a high breaking ball that is upstairs, 1-0. Glowenke hitting his second home run of the year in the first game of the doubleheader. Both have been to left field, straightaway left field. 1-0. Glowenke hits that high foul on the right field side, going over the fence. 1 ball and 1 strike. And both have been 2-run shots for Glowenke.
He's definitely hot right now. Another opportunity to pick up another RBI. Didn't record an at-bat in his last time he walked, so it could be 4 straight at-bats with RBIs if he's able to knock in Warren.
1-1, Glowenke, ground ball over to third. Jackson Olsen stares down Xavier Warren, now throws to first, and Glowenke is gunned down. Xavier Warren stays at second. That's the second out of the inning and the first time that Glowenke has been retired tonight.
And Olsen does a textbook job there, receives the ball into the baseline, and walks Warren back to second base before turning and making an accurate throw over to first base to Ian Fair in time. So now falls on to Kyle Hess to try and make something happen.
And Hess is 0 for 1, reached base on a fielder's choice in the first inning. First time he faces Jonas Scalaro. 2 outs, runner on second. First pitch to Kyle Hess is a swinging strike at a ball that was in the dirt. He falls behind 0-1. 2-1 lead for the Harbor Hawks in the bottom of the third inning. Lights come on at Doran Park. This is only the second doubleheader played at home for the Braves this year. First one was on the weekend of June 16th against the Orleans Firebirds. The Braves split both games, losing the first one 9-0. That still to this day is the worst loss of the season for the Braves. About run differential. Second pitch is high, 1 ball, 1 strike.
In the second game, Alec Burleson hit a walk-off single, and how weird does that sound? Alec Burleson as part of the Braves.
Yeah, Burleson going to Team USA, actually hit a walk-off home run for them. Has decided not to come back to the Braves to finish out the season. The 1-1, Hess swings at a breaking ball outside. He falls behind, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, you can't really blame him or Alika Williams. You go out, you travel the world, their games in Japan and all across different parts of the globe, and to come back to the Cape when you're paying your own way to go play a week's worth of games or maybe a week and a half's worth of games just doesn't make a lot of sense financial, and it's a lot of strain on his body as well.
The 1-2 pitch on Hess is inside, and he swung at it. Got him swinging. The second strikeout for Jonas Scalaro, and he gets out of the inning untouched. The Braves go down. No runs on one hit. They leave one on. Xavier Warren stays over at second. We head to the fourth. Hyannis still with a 2-1 lead. You're watching Braves Baseball on YouTube. The Braves fighting for that fourth and final playoff spot, and they can lock it up in this game right here. They trail 2-1 on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks as we begin the top of the fourth inning alongside Jordan Palacio. Sam Wiederhaft with you on YouTube live stream. We thank you for joining us. Ian Fair will lead us off for the Harbor Hawks in the top of the fourth inning. It'll go Fair, Hunter Goodman, and Jared DeSantelo all facing off against Hayden King, who will begin his fourth inning. Allowed 2 hits so far, both coming in the first inning. He comes set. First pitch to Ian Fair is a breaking ball upstairs that he takes 1-0.
Yeah, and King has done a nice job of settling in. He gave up the 2-run bomb to Goodman in the first inning, but since then he's done a nice job of calming down, hasn't given up a hit since that first inning.
Here's the 1-0. Fair chopper foul. Chad Gassman, the manager, picks it up as the third base coach. 1 ball and 1 strike. Fair is 0 for 1, a strikeout swinging in the first inning. And the only strikeout for Hayden King so far tonight. A tale of 2 starts. He went 3 innings against Hyannis in his last start on July 17th. Struck out 5. 1-1. Way outside. 2 balls and 1 strike.
And I think it'd be nice here if he's able to get an out here. And then he has to go up against Goodman again, but you'd rather go up against him with nobody on.
The 2-1 on Fair is a fastball taken to center field. Glowenke dives, but he can't reach it. It's a leadoff single for Ian Fair. Glowenke at short tried to dive and catch up to it, but it was hit too hard. It gets into center field, and Ian Fair has yet another hit. We know how hot he was coming into this game with an even .400 average. And he starts off this inning right, gets on first, and now you got Hunter Goodman who hit a home run.
Yeah, hit a home run on the first pitch, too, and it was a no-doubter as well. He was sitting on that first pitch fastball. Let's see if King makes that mistake again.
The first pitch to the dangerous Hunter Goodman is an off-speed in the zone for a strike. Goodman now 7 home runs on the season. A 2-run shot in the first to left field. Rigsby Mosley was on base at the time. Here's the 0-1. Breaking ball just a little low and outside. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, and I would not be surprised if Hayden King doesn't throw Goodman a fastball the entire at-bat. Maybe if he falls behind 3-1, but even then, I think the consequences could be much greater if you throw him a 3-1 fastball.
Throw back over to first. Fair's back in time. Goodman with a league-leading number, 34 RBIs. An average just over 280. The 1-1. Off speed, popped up. Going foul on the third base side, and it will land out of play. Blake Burzell warming up for the Braves in the left field bullpen right now, so this could be Hayden King's final inning.
Yeah, it would be good to see Blake come in and work a couple effective innings. You know, we've seen him a couple of times this season be a little inconsistent, but it'd be real good for him just to settle in. But even better for King right now to get a big out here against Hunter Goodman.
King comes set. Here's the 1-2 pitch on Goodman, fouled off toward the backstop. Fair's over at first. 3 hits for either team in the top of the 4th inning. No outs. King stares down Carby, his catcher. Now comes set. Looks over at first. Fair has about a 2-step lead. Nick Bruiser's covering the bag. Here's the 1-2 pitch on Goodman. It bounces behind Carmody. It was a called ball, and Fair will get over to second. The pitch was inside by Hayden King. It's a 2-2 count on Goodman. And more importantly, with the league's leading RBI getter, Hyannis now has a runner in scoring position.
Yeah, and Carmody really never had a chance at that ball. It was in the dirt, almost hit Hunter Goodman, who backed out of the box there. And now here, 2-2 with nobody out. A real opportunity for Goodman and Hyannis here to really build on this lead. A big momentum at bat for either side right now.
Carmody got the first game off. Brendan Rivoli was the catcher. Here's the 2-2. Goodman swings at it, strike 3. The second strikeout for Hayden King tonight is the first out of the inning, and the most dangerous batter in this lineup goes down on strikes.
Wow, I mean, that's what a big confidence boost that is for Hayden King to give up that wild pitch and then be able to come right back, and on the very next pitch, get a strikeout. That's huge for the Braves here. Now you have to face DeSantelo and Olsen here with one away.
DeSantelo's 0 for 1. A ground out back to Hayden King in the first inning. The first pitch is a fastball called a strike. The problem with this Hyannis team, as I've said before, has not been the hitting. And their hitting hasn't been spectacular, but it's not what's been losing them game. It's been the whole pitching staff, from starting pitching to relief, has really just been disappointing for them on the season. The 0-1 is skied to shallow left. Jimmy Glowacki backtracks. The shortstop makes the play for the second out of the inning.
Yeah, the problem with Hyannis, among a few, is that when you go onto their roster and you look at their pitching staff and you randomly just click on any pitcher, the chances are their ERA is probably over 6. And when you can do that with almost anybody on their roster, you know, that's going to lose you a lot of games. You know, after the first game of that doubleheader, they gave up 242 runs. I mean, the run differential is at coming into this game at a negative 103. I mean, so there's not a whole lot you can do offensively if your pitching staff is giving up that many runs.
The first pitch to Jackson Olsen is a called strike. Olsen's 0 for 1, a ground out to second in the second inning. The worst record in the Cape Cod Baseball League was the Hyannis Harbor Hawks in 2005. They went 7-36-1 for just 15 points. Now, Hyannis has 15 points right now. They're looking for one more win to hopefully not tie that. The 0-1 is swung on and missed by Olsen. A pitch in the dirt by Hayden King. Carmody keeps it in front of him. Olsen's now behind 0-2.
Yeah, good pitch there from Hayden King, getting him to bite on the low stuff there. Pitch in the dirt. And now 0-2 with 2 outs. Hayden King probably going to go maybe fastball up high here, try and get Olsen to swing and miss.
King comes set. Here's the 0-2 pitch on Jackson Olsen. It's another ball in the dirt. This time he lays off. It's 1-2. Now, Chad Gassman for Hyannis. This is his 11th season, which relatively is one of the more younger coaches when we know the age and the experience of all the other coaches around the Cape. He's won 3 Western Division titles in his 11-year tenure. So this year just obviously not his year. 1-2 is outside, bounces in front of Carmody, and will even up the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 outs, runner on second. 2-1 lead for the Harbor Hawks in the top of the 4th.
Yeah, and King missing his spot badly there on the last 2 pitches. A pitch in the dirt, and that pitch also in the dirt, but in the other batter's box as well. Really needs to settle in here. Might see him go off speed here on 2-2.
Lefty on lefty matchup. Hayden King calls timeout. Regroups himself. Now steps his left foot on the mound. Gets the sign from Carmody. Now hands me at the belt. Runner on second. 2 outs. 2-2. Outside, gets behind Carmody. Ian Fair is running over to third. There's no throw from Carmody. And a potential run for the Harbor Hawks is 90 feet away.
And we just were talking about how now he's hit the dirt in 4 consecutive pitches. One of them, luckily, was a swinging strike from Olsen, but he's missed in the same spot 2 times in a row. I'm not sure what's going on with him mechanically, but his release point is all over the place right now, not giving Carmody a chance to even get in the way of that. And if he does that one more time, it could turn into a run.
It's a 3-2 count on Jackson Olsen, who really hasn't had to do much at the plate. Fair's at third, 2 outs. Here's the 3-2 pitch on Olsen. He takes to right field. Kyle Hess moving to his right is called off by Giovanni DiGiacomo, who makes the play in center field. The Hyannis Harbor Hawks leave a runner over on third, and Ian Fair, who led the inning off with a single, but it's still 2-1. Hyannis has the lead heading to the bottom of the 4th. You're watching Braves Baseball on the Bourne Braves Baseball Network. Bottom of the 4th inning. Braves continue to trail 2-1 against the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. Nick Bruiser will lead off the Braves, followed by Jake McKenzie and Giovanni DiGiacomo in this bottom half of the 4th inning. Bruiser 0 for 1 so far, a ground out to Servideo at second base in the 1st inning. First pitch outside from Jonah Scalara, 1 ball, no strikes.
And Bruiser, we saw him have a double in that game at Katuitt, so it'd be nice for him here to really give the Braves bats something to go off of.
1-0. Bruiser thinks about it, pulls it back. It's a pitch upstairs, will peel over to first. And he did not go around. 2 balls and no strikes. Hunter Goodman homered for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks in the top of the 1st inning. And that's given them the lead ever since. The 2-0 fastball is on the outside part of the plate, called a strike. Bruiser doesn't like it. It's a 2-1 count.
Yeah, Bruiser could not believe that call, actually. Mark Delaney behind the plate. On a pitch way outside, he gives him the call. Now Bruiser has a battle here in 2-1.
Here's the pitch from Scalaro. Bruiser rockets it left field side, just foul. Right down the line, was a few feet left of it. Had extra bases ridden all over that ball, but it's a 2 ball and 2 strike count now.
Yeah, and with Bruiser, when he makes contact, he usually hits the ball pretty hard. It's not a power issue. It's just getting the bat onto the ball. We've seen him strike out a ton so far this season, and that's just something he really needs to work out. He hasn't really been able to adjust to the college game as well as he would have liked.
The 2-2 pitch from Scalaro is off speed and right down the middle for strike 3. That's Scalaro's third strikeout so far. He came on in relief in the third inning, and he retires Bruiser for the first out of the fourth.
Yeah, 3 strikeouts and 4 batters for Jonah Scalaro coming into this game. He's really made himself comfortable.
Here's McKenzie, squares around the bunt, now pulls it back and watches ball 1 low.
Now we'll get the attention of Jackson Olsen over at third base. He was playing so back, like almost on the infield, outfield grass.
1-0 is a fastball down the middle, 1 ball and 1 strike. McKenzie walked in the second inning and was caught stealing, trying to go for second. Now the 1-1 from Scalaro. A fastball way low, bounces way in front of the plate. It's a 2-1 count on Jake McKenzie. McKenzie's been, in my opinion, Jordan, now tell me if you agree with this, a confusing player. We saw him have a little bit of power earlier in the year. He hit a home run. The 2-1's a fastball outside, 3 balls and 1 strike. He's hit for the season cycle. Home run, triple, double, single. Offensively, I just don't know what his real identity is. He's kind of everything. 3-1 pitch is looked at on the high and outside corner for strike 2. Count runs full.
Yeah, he's kind of just an all-around guy. He doesn't necessarily do one thing a whole lot better than the other, except for stealing bases for this team. He's well and above the rest.
The payoff pitch on McKenzie is looked at for strike 3. A fastball from Scalaro, and it's 2 strikeouts looking to begin the bottom of the fourth.
That one hurts right there. That was a fastball right down the middle. I'm not sure exactly what McKenzie was expecting there. He was obviously had his mind set on something other than fastball, but he got the heat on the payoff pitch, and now back-to-back strikeouts, actually 3 in a row if you include Kyle Hess's strikeouts and the third.
So now it's Giovanni DiGiacomo coming up. He walked in the second inning. The first pitch he swings at lifts a high fly ball in shallow left field. Rigsby Mosley tracking it in, makes the catch for out number 3. A relatively quick bottom of the fourth. The Braves go down in order. We head to the 5th inning, 2-1 lead for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. You're watching Braves Baseball on YouTube. Aiden King's night is finished. He goes 4 innings, allows 3 hits, 2 earned runs, striking out 2 and walking 1. And it's a fresh start for the Braves as Blake Burzell, the right-handed pitcher out of Arizona State, comes on to face the bottom third of this Hyannis Harbor Hawks lineup.
Yeah, Burzell coming into this game, getting his 9th appearance so far in the season. He's got an 0-1 record, a 3.37 ERA in 10 2/3 innings worked. We last saw him against Wareham back on July 20th. He pitched 1 in the 3rd innings, giving up only 1 run, however not earned, off of 3 hits and 7 batters faced. Opposing hitters are hitting .333 off him, and he's got a whip of about 1.6.
First pitch is a fastball to Adam Hackenberg for a strike. Hackenberg is 0 for 1. Fly out to right field in the 2nd inning. 0-1. Burzell throws his off-speed pitch, a little inside, called a ball. 2-1 lead for the Harbor Hawks, top of the 5th inning in this 7-inning game, the second of the doubleheader. 1-1, fastball inside, and Hackenberg's now ahead in the count, 2 balls and 1 strike.
And Burzell, we all know what his bread and butter is. It's the fastball. He usually, if he's got it working, he can get it up into the mid-90s.
2-1 Hackenberg, hard hit ground ball to Glowenke at short. He gloves it, throw with the right hand is in time to get Hackenberg for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, and easy does it. There, ground ball. That's what you want to see out of your pitcher. Go out there, get the first batter out. Now go up against a struggling Rowdy Jordan.
Jordan walked in the 2nd inning, but was caught stealing. Has not recorded an official at-bat yet. 3 hits for either team, and this has been a much more pitcher-dominated game. First pitch outside for a ball. And I say that like the first game was a complete offensive explosion. It wasn't. The first pitch or second pitch is skied out to straightaway center field. DiGiacomo running in, now stops and makes the catch for out number 2. 2 up, 2 down for Burzell on the mound. It was a 4-2 Braves win. Each team getting 6 hits.
At bat, number 13 from the University of Mississippi, Anthony.
So a little more time here in the top of the 5th inning, but 2 quick outs for Burzell on the mound. And now Servideo, who's 0 for 1 with a ground out, steps up and watches a fastball outside for a called strike 1.
And he's been working quickly, Burzell. It was a 2-run bottom of the 5th inning that separated the 2 teams in that game earlier today.
0-1 is a swinging strike, and Servideo is now down 0-2. Nobody on, 2 outs. Top of the 5th inning, 2-1 lead for the Harbor Hawks. Burzell in the windup kicks and fires the 0-2. Servideo fouls it off third base side. Headed toward the parking lot. And it's still an 0-2 count. The Braves' record in double headers has increased to 3-4. 0-2. Off-speed Servideo watches low for a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Before the game that started at 4 o'clock today, the Braves have been outscored 23-6 in doubleheader first games. 1-2, Servideo just chops and keeps alive. Looks like a hit off his foot. Still a 1-2 count.
And the Braves in the doubleheader usually ends in a 500 affair. We saw in the first 2 doubleheaders of the season, one against Orleans, one against Chatham, that it would be a first game loss and a pretty ugly one, followed by an important second game win.
The 1-2 is off speed. Servideo, little dunker to left field. Moving in is McKenzie. He will make the catch for the 3rd out of the inning. The Harbor Hawks go down in order. No runs, no hits in the top of the 5th inning. They still have a 2-1 lead heading to the bottom of the 5th. You're watching Braves Baseball on YouTube. already with the biggest win streak in the league during this year with 7 wins in a row. They could almost, and on the verge of getting 8 wins in a row. The 2-1 bat goes flying off of Carmody's hands. He actually fouled it off. So the count will be even at 2-2. Well, I don't know if I've ever seen that where a player actually gets contact on a pitch and also lets go of the bat.
I think we're going to need some more pine tar, perhaps. I'm not sure what's going on. We've seen a lot of that this season. Of course, who was it? Morissette or Giovanni DiGiacomo threw his bat into a dugout.
I think both.
Both of them?
I think both did it.
Well, into a dugout. I've never seen that before, Sam.
Well, it's 2-2 on Carmody, and Jordan, you know what's going on after this.
Oh, tell me.
There's intern batting practice after this game, and if you do that, there's going to be some deep trouble. 2-2 is a beautiful breaking ball from Scolaro. Carmody watches it for strike 3.
And for Jonas Scolaro, how about this? 5 strikeouts when he's only faced 7 batters. How about that for Jonas Scolaro? It's just insane.
And 3 of them have been looking. The past 3 have all been looking. His breaking ball has been fantastic as Robert Carmody goes down back to the top of the lineup in Cody Morrison. He gets contact, and it shoots over the head of Jordan Westberg into left center field for a single. That's the second hit of the ball game for Cody Morrison. He moves to 2 for 3, and he's on. The tying run's on first. Xavier Warren comes up.
And Scolaro's no-hitter comes to an end. He threw a perfect 7 batters before giving up that base hit to Cody Morrison here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Remember, only 7 innings. So this is very much the equivalent of the bottom of the 7th right now if we were playing a 9-inning game. We are coming to the home stretch of this ball game.
Scolaro comes set, has a runner over on first for the first time. Throws it over. Morrison gets back in time. Do you think they'll give us pine tar?
I don't know. See, that's what I'm looking forward to see all the different swings that we've seen. You know, we'll have to have some coverage go up on our social medias.
First pitch is a fastball. Xavier Warren watches. 0-1. Warren's 1 for 2 with a strikeout and a single.
You know, I'm sure there'll be some swings up on Twitter, maybe Instagram, some pictures. There'll be some coverage for sure. I'm excited to see, you know, how all the different interns here, not only the media ones, but all the game day interns, everyone who makes this Cape Cod Baseball League work, how we do.
0-1 is inside. It gets off the glove of Hackenberg. Morissette will slide into second. A pitch that was very easily catchable for Adam Hackenberg. It gets past his glove on the fastball, and now the Braves' tying run is in scoring position.
And that's good when you have Xavier Warren at the plate, who leads the team in RBIs. You have Judge Fabian, who already has an RBI in this game. And in the hole, you have Jimmy Glowacki, who had 3 RBIs in the last game. So the Braves surely with an opportunity here to score Cody Morissette for the second time in this game and not this game up at 2.
Warren has not gotten an RBI since July 17th, over a week ago, against YD in that 6-0 win in a rain-shortened 5-inning game. 1-1. Off speed, Warren watches inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Scolaro's breaking ball is borderline unhittable. Warren smartly lays off on that inside pitch. Two-1 lead for the Harbor Hawks. Scolaro comes set. Looks back over at Morrison, who takes about a 4-step lead off second. Nobody covering. And the 2-1 pitch is a fastball down the middle to Warren. The count runs even, 2-2.
And Warren's already struck out so far in this game, so definitely want to be smart here. 2-2 is probably going to be that curveball again. Why not? Braves have not hit it all game, so yeah, I think you keep throwing it until someone punishes you.
Warren batting from the right side on the left-handed Scolaro. Here's the 2-2. Off speed, Warren chops it foul toward the Braves dugout. 4 hits for the Braves, 3 for the Harbor Hawks. And while we talk about the Braves' record in doubleheader first games, their record is a little better in second games. They're 2-1. They, of course, had that walk-off against Orleans, 2-1 win there. Then they won 4-2 against Chatham, where Ryan Cusick had a pitcher of the week performance. Their last game was a 13-8 loss against Hyannis. 2-2 is fouled off first base side over the Harbor Hawks dugout. And that 13-8 game at McKeon Park was one of the craziest games you'll ever see. It was called early because of a storm that was coming in. Both teams in the fourth inning, had batted around and both scored 5 runs. A very offensive game, and Hyannis ended up getting the win. 2-2, and Scalaro looks back and almost throws over to second, doesn't decide to. Warren looking for his second hit of the ball game. Scalaro comes set. Looks back over at second. Kicks and deals the 2-2 off speed. Warren looks at, almost hits off of his knee. But the count now runs full. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
I was going to say that doubleheader against Hyannis at McKeon Park feels like over a month ago, but then I just realized it was about a month ago. It was June 30th, that doubleheader, and today's the 25th. So time flies, I guess, huh, in this baseball league.
Here's the payoff. Fastball, Warren just fouls off. Morrison at second. 2-1 lead for the Harbor Hawks. No team has scored since Judd Fabian got the RBI single in the bottom of the first inning. Here's the payoff on Warren. High, and he watches it for ball 4. It bounced off of Hackenberg's glove. Morissette stays over at second, but the Braves now have 2 runners on, with Fabian, who already has an RBI in this game, coming up with 1 out.
Yeah, theoretically, that doesn't really hurt you if you're Scalaro on the mound because you've been doing well to this point. First base was open on the walk, so now runners on first and second, and creates the opportunity to turn a double play. However, I'm not sure you really want to walk into the 3-hole hitter in the lineup in Judd Fabian, especially when he already has an RBI single in this game. And if you can't retire him, then you come up against Jimmy Glowacki, swinging the hottest bat, bar none, right now for the Braves.
Here's Scalaro's first pitch on Fabian. It's a breaking ball inside. Fabian lays off. 1 ball and no strikes. He's 1 for 2, an RBI single in the first inning, and a strikeout swinging in the third. Fabian has 5 home runs. 3 of them have been against Cotuit, 1 against YD, and 1 against the Harbor Hawks. Scalaro looks at second, now kicks and fires the 1-0 off speed. Fabian watches for a called strike this time. 1 ball and 1 strike. His home run against Hyannis was his first of the year. It was his second RBI in that second game of the doubleheader. 13-8 loss. 1-1. Breaking ball curves right in the strike zone. Fabian doesn't do anything about it. It's a called strike 2, and now Fabian's in a 1-2 hole. He's already struck out once today. 28 strikeouts on the season.
Here's the first batter that Scalaro faced, and now he's gone to the order 1 full time here, and he's got a clutch at bat here against Judd Fabian.
Here's the 1-2 from Scalaro. It's a fastball outside. Fabian doesn't swing. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Braves DH today smartly lays off. The typical everyday center fielder, DiGiacomo, gets the start in center today. Fabian played center field in game 1. Scalaro, the lefty, comes set. Here's the 2-2. Off speed, high and outside. Fabian lays off, and the count now runs full. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, great take there by Fabian, and not only that pitch, but the pitch before it as well. Fastball that just missed the zone outside, and now we'll see Scalaro's best pitch. You'd imagine it's most likely going to be that curveball, and see what Fabian can do against it.
Here's the payoff. Breaking ball got him swinging. Scalaro's stuff was unbelievable against Judd Fabian in that at-bat, and he goes down swinging for the second time tonight, and now you bring up Jimmy Glowenke with the Braves desperately trying to make something happen here in the bottom half of the fifth.
Yeah, and with how this game is going, this could be the last time Glowenke comes up to bat as well, depending upon how the next couple of innings go. And Scalaro, what a pitch right there. Off-speed breaking ball. Big confidence boost, but it doesn't get any easier against Glowenke.
First pitch to Jimmy Glowenke is off speed, low and inside. Glowenke lays off. 0 for 2. Walked in the first, grounded out to third in the third inning. And Scalaro's already set a new season high with 6 strikeouts. His previous season high was July 4th. At YD, he struck out 4 in relief. Here's the 1-0. Breaking ball, Glowenke watches in the dirt. 2 balls and no strikes.
And a good start here for Glowenke. He's looked at 2 curveballs that have been low. Now at a 2-0, I think he's almost guaranteed to see a fastball here.
Xavier Warren at first, Cody Morissette at second. 2 outs in the bottom of the fifth. 2-1 lead for the Harbor Hawks. Scalaro looks back at second, now fires the 2-0 breaking ball right down the middle. Glowenke watches for strike 1. 2 balls and 1 strike count to the Braves shortstop today. Glowenke 3 for 3 in game 1. 3 RBIs, including a solo shot to straightaway left field. In that 4-2 win for the Braves. Here's the 2-1. Breaking ball right down the third base line, just going foul. A hard-hit ground ball hugging the line that just curved left when it got to the bag. Count runs even, and the deuces are wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 runners on in the bottom of the fifth, and Hyannis leads it 2-1.
2-2 here. Glowenke's seen, I think, 4 consecutive curveballs, and I don't see why it would change here. I think we'll see another curveball probably down low in the dirt.
Scalaro steps off the mound. This is the most dangerous hitter that he has to worry about in this lineup. Glowenke has found something offensively, and he's been on an incredible tear over the last 7 games. 2-2. Breaking ball, Glowenke shoots to left field. Morissette being waved home. It's an RBI single for Jimmy Glowenke. Jay Glow does it again, and the Braves tie it up 2-2.
How about that, huh? He's sitting that curveball. I think everybody at Dorn Park knew he was going to get it, and he lines it into left field. Just caught the very end of the bat, but that was all that was necessary. There was no throw for Rigsby Mosley at home. Morissette coming home, swinging or going on the swing of the bat. He comes in, and now we'll have a pinch hitter here in Jared Poland stepping in for Kyle Hess.
Hess taken out. He went over to a fielder's choice and a strikeout. As Poland, who hit and also pitched in the last game, coming up. Poland, a .292 average. He went 0 for 2 in game 1 with a walk. His pitching was a lot better. He pitched 1 inning, struck out 2, and 3 batters faced. And Chad Gassman will make a move to the bullpen. That'll be it for Jonas Scalaro, who dominated his first 2 innings, but the Braves are catching up to him here in the bottom of the 5th inning. They've tied it up 2-2. We'll take a quick break. New pitcher coming in for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. You're watching Braves Baseball on YouTube. Jimmy Kloenke collects his 8th RBI in his last 7 games, and he's the last batter that Jonah Scalaro faces. He goes 2 2/3, allows 2 hits, that 1 earned run, but he has 2 runners on base that he's responsible for. 1 walk and a season-high 6 strikeouts, and now it's Kyle Murphy, rising senior from Northeastern.
Yeah, and Murphy comes into this game at a 1-2 record, a 7.57 ERA, making his 9th appearance of the season. He's thrown 19 innings, 19 strikeouts. He's given up 24 hits, and he's got a whip of 1.68, and batters are hitting just over 300 against him.
And now it's Jared Poland who watches a first pitch strike. Poland, 292 average, went 0 for 2 in game 1 with a walk. His last hit was against YD on July 22nd. The 0-1 is low. Poland watches. 1 ball, 1 strike. He went 3 for 3 on Monday. A double in there. Also got hit by a pitch, so he got on 4 times. Xavier Warren is at second. Jimmy Glowenke's at first. Both runners go. The pitch is high. Throw over to second. No, it's a fake throw by Adam Hackenberg. If the double steal was put on for the first time this season, pitch was a called ball, and the Braves now have 2 runners in scoring position.
Yeah, how about that? What a call by Harvey Shapiro. A double steal. Both players taking. They noticed that Kyle Murphy very routinely is coming set and throwing home, and Glowenke and Warren both swipe. They swipe third and second, respectively, without a throw.
Murphy comes set. Here's the 2-1 on Poland, a fastball low and outside. Poland has a beautiful count, 3 balls and 1 strike with runners on second and third. 2-2 game, bottom of the 5th inning. This game only going 7.
I wouldn't be surprised here if Murphy misses the zone. No reason to go after Poland at a 3-1.
3-1 is off speed and outside, and they're loaded for Nick Bruiser.
And it missed the zone, but not intentionally there. Hackenberg behind the plate tried to frame it up, did not get the call. Now here comes Nick Bruiser with a chance to be a hero here. Bottom of the 5th inning. This is where the Braves struck for 2 runs in that game earlier today. They've already scored 1, and a base hit here from Bruiser gives them the lead and could bring a couple more to score.
Bruiser has just 1 RBI in the summer so far. The first pitch, he fouls off first base side over the Harbor Hawks dugout, 0-1. He's 0 for 2 so far today, a ground out and a strikeout looking. His lone RBI came on July 3rd at Wareham. Had a nice 2-double game at Spillane Field. An RBI came with it, and that's been it for him on the season. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Fastball, he watches for a called strike 2. That pitch was low. Bruiser didn't like it again. He falls behind 0-2.
Yeah, same situation he got himself into his last at-bat against Scalaro. Now has to really battle here, 0-2. Expect probably a fastball high, maybe a waste pitch. Hackenberg setting up way outside.
The 0-2 pitch is a fastball outside, right where Hackenberg is set up. It's called a ball. Bruiser still in the at-bat.
Yeah, and sometimes you can steal a strike like that if you're a catcher. If the pitcher is able to hit a spot, you throw it right to where the catcher's set up. It looks a lot better, looks a lot more appealing to the umpire.
Warren at third, Glowenke at second, Poland at first. Here's the 1-2 delivery. It's off speed. Bruiser just gets a piece of it. Hackenberg almost caught it off the foul tip, but it rolls back to the backstop, and the count remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. 2-2 game, bottom of the 5th inning. 5 hits for the Braves. They've matched their total from game 1. No, excuse me, they had 6 hits in game 1. Now with 5 here in game 2. And Murphy looking to get out of this unharmed with 2 outs. Here's the 1-2 on Bruiser. Off speed, foul back toward the backstop. Bruiser from Stanford doing a good job of battling. On the season, coming into this game, batting .261. He's walked 5 times and struck out 16 times. Time is called, and Hackenberg will have a meeting with Kyle Murphy on the mound.
Yeah, 1-2. You can't get too crazy with your waste pitch because you have a runner on third base and Xavier Warren. And while the backstop is made out of brick, so we've seen a lot of bounce backs, it's not a risk you can really take in this situation. So now Bruiser here at 1 ball and 2 strikes really has to extend his zone. He's taken a couple of strikes that he thought were off the plate. He has to go after those types of pitches with 2 strikes on him.
Righty on righty matchup. Bruiser takes a few practice cuts. Now he's ready for the 1-2. Murphy comes set. Here's the delivery. Fastball low and outside. It evens up 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, good take from Bruiser there. Don't have to go after anything like that. Stay disciplined up there. You have to expand your zone, but not by that much. Now you're ready to go in here. You get a 2-2 pitch. Murphy definitely doesn't want to go to a 3-2 count, so he's going to give you something to hit right now.
A big moment in the game, in a tie game. Murphy comes set, hands me at the belt. The 2-2 is outside, and the count runs full. So not only does Bruiser have a full count, but the runners with 2 outs will all be going. A head start with the bases loaded.
Now, a base hit definitely will bring in Glowenke from second. That was a good pitch there for Murphy. Just missed the zone outside. And now he's really struggled to find the zone. He led 0-2. Now let's see what happens.
Runners go. The payoff is fouled back toward the backstop. And Bruiser is putting together a heck of a battle against Kyle Murphy. Bases loaded. Bottom of the 5th inning. The Braves won game 1, 4-2. Now deadlocked in a 2-2 tie after the RBI single by Jimmy Glowenke. Look back over to second. Glowenke runs back toward the bag. We know Glowenke's had struggles base running.
And that was very nearly a balk right there. If Murphy makes that move toward third base, that's a balk. You're not allowed to make a move toward third base without throwing it. At the last second, his foot crossed the rubber, and he moved toward second.
Here's the payoff on Nick Bruiser. Runners go. It's high and tight. He does go. The appeal over to first base umpire. Dave Vivieras calls him out on the strikeout, and Nick Bruiser is livid.
I cannot believe that. It looked from here that he was able to hang up. Nobody on the Braves dugout can believe it. The players are really hesitant to even go back on the field. Nothing that Harvey Shapiro can do about it. That is a brutal way to end the inning. It was almost a go-ahead walk. It turns into the second strikeout for Bruiser, and that one stings if you're the Braves.
That could be a game-changing call in the bottom of the 5th inning. 1 run comes home, but the Braves leave them loaded. In the bottom of the 5th inning, they tie it up 2-2 as we approach the 6th. You're watching Braves Baseball on YouTube. Top of the order, due up for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. Jordan Westberg will lead things off against Blake Burzell, who's seeing this part of the lineup for the first time tonight. Came on in relief of Hayden King, who went 4 innings. Burzell went 1. He retired the Harbor Hawks in order and now faces the front third in Westberg, Mosley, and Fair. 2-2 game at the top of the 6th now, and it's getting down to crunch time. Harvey Shapiro is right now arguing or talking with home plate umpire Mark Delaney. Defensive change for the Braves. Cade Meloso is now playing over at first, so he will bat in place of Nick Bruiser, who just struck out with the bases loaded on an arguable check swing call. Call was made by first base umpire Dave Vivieras on the appeal. And the Braves left him loaded in the bottom of the 5th inning. So Westberg now steps up. He's 0 for 2. 2 flyouts to left field. And the first pitch from Burzell is a fastball out of the zone. 1 ball and no strikes.
And this is an important moment right now in this ball game too, because the Braves are upset. They had some momentum robbed from them in that home half of the fifth.
1-0, Westberg fouls off. 1 ball and 1 strike. And we talk about, Jordan, the importance of this game. This game, with a Braves win, can send them to the playoffs.
Yeah, if the Braves are able to pull this one out, that clinches the 4th spot in the playoffs, officially, at least on paper.
1-1 is off speed from Burzell, high and tight. 2 balls and 1 strike to Westberg. 1-1. Fastball out of the zone. Or excuse me, now it's 3-1. Westberg's been 0 for 10 in his last 10 plate appearances against the Braves. Burzell into the windup. Here's the 3-1 pitch. It's inside, and it's a 5-pitch walk to the leadoff batter in Jordan Westberg.
And that's why the momentum is so important in games, because Burzell, after firing a very quick 1-2-3 inning, gives up a 5-pitch walk. Then now you have Rigsby Mosley coming up. Fair and Goodman both also due up in this inning now. If you're Burzell, you'd much rather like to get a ground ball here, and nobody warming up right now for the Braves. This is very much his inning.
First pitch to Rigsby Mosley. Fastball called a strike outside, 0-1. Mosley is 1 for 2. Single in the first. They fly out to center in the 3rd inning. He came around to score on the Hunter Goodman home run, which has been the only scoring for the Harbor Hawks tonight. 0-1. Mosley, a foul ball off the helmet of Robert Carmody. He shakes it off. And now Mosley's down 0-2.
Yeah, those are scary right there. That's how Henry Davis's season came to an end in Cape League. It took a foul ball off the mask. It caught him in just the right spot and sent him home. And in the All-Star game, Jackson Greer didn't take a foul ball to the helmet. He actually was hit in the back of the helmet on the backswing of an East Division player in that game, and that sent him home.
0-2 on Mosley. He cracks to left field. It'll get down for a single. Westberg will stop at second, and the Harbor Hawks, to lead off this inning, have runners on first and second.
Runners on first and second with Ian Fair coming to the plate as well, and he's going to go talk to Chad Gassman. Would not be surprised, maybe a little surprised actually, if Ian Fair would drop down a bunt here, drop the sacrifice, get the runners over to first and second, but you walk one person and then on an 0-2 count as well, give up a base hit. That's a heartbreaker if you're a pitcher. You're way up in the count and you give up the base hit.
And Fair's 1 for 2, a strikeout in the first, a single in the 4th inning. Comes up in a huge spot. Harbor Hawks looking for a go-ahead run to break this tie in the top of the 6th. No arms warming up in the Braves bullpen. Burzell remains on the mound. Cade Beloso, the first baseman, playing on the fringe of the grass. Burzell comes set. Fair turns around to bunt. He pulls it back, and the pitch almost hits him in the helmet. It's high and tight from Burzell, 1-0.
And Carmody had to make a great catch there, leaping out of his position to go make the catch. He actually caught the ball behind him. He had to really stretch his arm back and hang on to that one. Very could have easily been set runners on second and third right now.
Burzell comes set. Westberg at second. Mosley at first, and time is called. Hyannis doesn't want their playoff chances done just yet. A win tonight would keep them alive. Fair turns around to bunt yet again. This time he gets it down, and it is going foul. Carmody will pick it up on the third base side in foul territory. We'll even up the count, 1 ball and 1 strike. And Jordan, you're right. He does turn around to bunt. A slightly shocking move by your 3-hitter who's batting nearly 400 on the year. But a bunt would put those base runners in better position to win this game.
Well, I think it's easily forgiven, too, when you have the league-leading RBI producer sitting on deck. If you get him runners on second and third, there's a good chance he probably drives one in.
Here's the 1-1. Fair's swinging away, and he fouls it off on the first base side. He's now in a 1-ball, 2-strike hole. Goodman had the 2-run home run in the first inning, a strikeout in the 4th. He'll be coming up next. Barring the rare triple play. That Brewster actually turned last week, or earlier this week, actually.
How about that, huh?
How about that for the Caps? Here's the 1-2 on Ian Fair. It's off speed and outside. Carmody makes a great save to block it. It's 2-2.
And right now, Tyler Brocious, the submarine, getting loose in the Braves bullpen. We have not seen him for a while. I think it's been over a week since we last saw Tyler Brocious. He's been slumping as of late, but right now, Blake Brazell 1 strike away from getting a crucial first out.
2-2. Fastball called, a ball outside. The count will now run full on Ian Fair. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Brazell hasn't pitched, Brocious hasn't pitched since last Tuesday. So it's been about a week and a half. Pitched 2/3 of an inning against YD in that 9-4 loss. 3-2. Fair watches it for ball 4 outside. The Harbor Hawks load him up in the top of the 6th inning for their number 1 hitter, Hunter Goodman, the league leader in RBIs, and Harvey Shapiro will make a pitching change. That'll be it for Blake Brazell. He'll leave the bases loaded, and it looks like Tyler Brocious, the submarine pitcher and former closer, will be coming in to try and get out of this bases loaded jam. Shapiro still talking with Brazell, possibly buying Brocious a little more time.
He hasn't made a move yet. Harvey Shapiro, I've not seen Harvey Shapiro go out and actually only just have a mound visit. He's staring at Brocious. Maybe he's going to wait for home plate umpire Mark Delaney to come over and reminds him, like, hey, guys, we only got 30 seconds.
Oh, this is interesting. I'm not sure if he's going to pull Brazell or if Brocious is going to come in. They're talking it out right now. And I believe he will make the call. Yes. Yes, it's confirmed. Brazell's coming off the field, and that will be it for him. We'll take a quick break. Tyler Brocious coming into this game to warm up and try and get out of a bases-loaded jam. 2-2 game in the middle of the top of the 6th inning. You're watching Braves Baseball on the Bourne Braves Baseball Network. Bases loaded, top of the 6th inning, 2-2 game, and Tyler Brocious is brought in to try and get out of what almost seems impossible jam, Jordan.
Yeah, talk about being dealt a bad hand. Not only do you have no outs in the inning, not only do you have bases loaded, you come up against the leading RBI producer in the entire league in Hunter Goodman. Now, Brocious has been on a cold slide as of late. His ERA has ballooned to 7.83. He's only thrown 10 in the third innings. He gave up 3 runs, all earned off 3 hits to YD back on the 16th.
First pitch to Goodman, almost hits him inside, called a ball. And Goodman has that 2-run home run. That's been the only scoring for the Harbor Hawks. He hit it in the first inning. Leads the league with 34 RBIs. Bases loaded for him. The 1-0 from Brocious is low, and Goodman has a fantastic count, 2-0.
Yeah, and for Brocious, it all started on July 5th against Harwich. He gave up 2 runs, and that was his first sign that he is actually human. And since then, in 4 outings, he's given up 9 runs.
The submarine pitcher comes set. Here's the 2-0 to Goodman. It's a fastball, almost gets away from Carmody. And it's now a 3-0 count on Goodman. Brocious has allowed at least 1 run in his last 4 appearances after being hitless or not giving up a hit in his first 5 appearances. 4 saves on the year. 3-0 to Goodman. There's a fastball called a strike, and there's the first strike of the at-bat, a much-needed one for Tyler Brocious, 3-1.
Yeah, settles him down a little bit. He's in an impossible situation right now. He's being brought in to just try and limit the damage as much as he can.
Here's the 3-1. Little chopper over to third. Warren will not throw it home. He throws to first. Goodman is out, but the Harbor Hawks take the lead. Jordan Westberg comes home to score.
Yeah, it's an RBI, another one for Hunter Goodman. A high chopper didn't give Warren a chance at anything. When he caught the ball, the run had already come in to score. Mosley was already at third, and Fair was already at second. He only had 1 play, and that was to first base. He makes an accurate throw. That run will be credited to Blake Barzell. And if the runners on second and third come around, those will also be Barzell's responsibility. And the inning's not over yet here against Jared DeSantillo.
And Ace Adams will call a mound visit with Brocious. The Harbor Hawks have taken the lead. Goodman gets his 3rd RBI of the game, 35th on the season. Mosley to third, Ian Fair to second, and DeSantillo, who's 0 for 2, a ground out and a fly out, coming up against Brocious for the first time. And Brocious hasn't pitched in a week and a half. He went 2/3 against YD. He allowed 3 hits, 3 earned runs. He just has not been the same Tyler Brocious that the Braves had in the first quarter of the season that saved 4 games, was the league leader for a while. Brocious started out as a center fielder at Rhode Island. Now comes set. Here's the first pitch to DeSantillo. It's a fastball low and inside, called a ball.
Now the double play also is off the table here. The infield comes up to play on the infield grass, trying to cut the runner down at home if he comes.
1-0. Off-speed called a strike on the outside corner. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Carmody does a nice job there framing that pitch. I think it probably missed the zone low and outside, but he frames it up from Mark Delaney behind the plate, gets the strike call, and gives Brocious a much-needed strike.
1-1 on DeSantillo. He cracks over to first. Beloso, it pops out of his glove. Can't throw it over to first. And coming home is Rigsby Mosley. Hyannis adds to it. It's 4-2. DeSantillo gets an RBI. And Beloso's fielding continues to struggle. That one just popped right out of the glove.
Yeah, it was a tough play. He had to really reach out for it, and it'll be interesting to see whether or not that is going to be ruled. It's ruled as an error. So credit the error to Beloso, his 2nd error in as many games. And another run comes in to score, and this inning's still not over.
The first error to Beloso is in the first game, a fly out that he lost in the sun, actually hit off his glove. And he gets his 2nd error of this doubleheader. So now it's Jackson Olsen. He's 0 for 2 with a ground out and a fly out. DeSantillo's on first. Ian Fair is on third. And it looks like we'll have a pinch hitter. We will.
And it's going to be Lucas Dunn coming into this game. He played in the game earlier. He's got a chance here to really ingratiate himself with his teammates well after taking some time off for Team USA, get an RBI single here, and bring another run home to score.
So Dunn comes in. He went 0 for 2 with a walk in the first game with runners at the corners. Brocious comes set, hands meet at the belt. The first pitch is a fastball low. Runners at the corners, 4-2 lead now for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, looking to get that 8th win of the season. That would keep them from tying the league worst record in 2005 set by the Harbor Hawks at 7-36-1. The 1-0 is off speed, but slides right in the zone. Looked at by Dunn for a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Dunn, the rising sophomore from Louisville, teammates with Jared Poland. Here's the 1-1. Off speed, Dunn looks at it for strike 2. Brocious looking for some sort of double play ball. Glowanki and Morissette both playing close to the bag. Looking to end the inning. Dunn's batting .231. Here's the 1-2. Dunn got him swinging. There's a much-needed strikeout for Tyler Brocious, and there's 2 outs in the top of the 6th inning. That brings up Adam Hackenberg.
Yeah, good pitch there from Tyler Brocious. Really good sequence. Gets that second out. Everyone can calm down now defensively and go after Adam Hackenberg here. Ground out. You don't have to worry about turning any double plays. Just go out and get the out at first base.
Hackenberg is also 0 for 2 with a ground out and a fly out. Ian Fair's at third. Jared DeSantolo is at first. 2 runs already across in this top of the 6th inning that have given the Harbor Hawks a 4-2 lead. The first pitch on Hackenberg is a swinging strike. And that's how Tyler Brocious was so good, was he was working that off-speed pitch earlier in the season, and hitters just couldn't catch up to it. And you think once the hitters finally got contact, Brocious started to struggle. Here's the 0-1. Off speed, Hackenberg goes swinging again, and he's down 0-2.
Yeah, but Brocious has been good here today. You think about it, he has 2 choppers. One of them got an out. The other probably should have gotten an out, but it was an error by Cade Beloso, and then he's got a strikeout. So really, the Braves should have already been out of this inning. They gave an extra out to Hyannis, and we'll see if Hyannis is able to make them pay for it.
And both runs coming across are credited to Blake Burzell. 0-2. Hackenberg watches strike 3. So 2 runs come across the plate, but it could have been a lot worse. Hyannis takes the lead 4-2 as we head to the bottom half of the 6th. You're watching Braves Baseball on YouTube. Braves face a deficit for the second time here tonight. They trail 4-2 to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. Kyle Murphy is on the mound and is right now in line for the win. Blake Burzell is in line for the loss. He'll face off against the bottom third of the Braves lineup, Jake McKenzie, Giovanni DiGiacomo, and Robert Carmody. So McKenzie's into the box. He is 0 for 1 with a strikeout looking. First pitch he swings at, lifts it to center field, gets down in front of Rowdy Jordan for a leadoff one-pitch single.
That's a good start for the Braves. That's the big silver lining in that inning, as it looks like Kyler Fedko is going to come in and pinch hit for Giovanni DiGiacomo. This Hyannis bullpen leaves a lot to be desired. We were talking about the average pitcher has an ERA of up over 6 or 7. So McKenzie does his job. Now Kyler Fedko with a chance to join the party.
Kyler Fedko went 0 for 3 with a strikeout in the first game. His average is down to 138. He's looking for a clutch at bat. The Hyannis team ERA is 6.94 coming into today. That's obviously last place in the league. The second to last is YD with a 4.69 ERA. The first pitch is low and outside. Fedko watches for a ball, 1-0. Obviously, major problems on the pitching staff have been the story this year for the Harbor Hawks. Murphy comes set. Here's the 1-0 to Kyler Fedko. Off speed and inside, called a ball. Fedko's ahead, 2 balls and no strikes. Kyler Fedko's brother, Christian Fedko, was the starting second baseman for the All-Star game in the East. His brother playing for Harwich. 2-0. Fedko watches a fastball down the middle for a strike, 2-1.
Yeah, so defensively, Lucas Dunn comes in and plays third base now. He subbed in for Jackson Olsen in that inning. And Beloso actually is batting in the 5-hole. Bruisers is still in the game. He's in right field right now. So he's batting 6, Beloso at number 5.
2-1. Fedko fouls it off. The count evens up, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
This is big for Kyler Fedko here if he's able to stay alive. He was at a 2-0 count, and Murphy's done well to get back into the ball game here at 2-2. So he's going to be throwing a good pitch here because I think McKenzie on a 3-2 count probably steals. He might even go on this pitch right now.
Brendan Rivoli is warming up right now. Might be pinch hitting for Robert Carmody.
Yeah, you know how Harvard Shapiro loves to play the matchups.
He does. Murphy comes set. Here's the 2-2 pitch on Fedko. He lifts to right field. Goodman is moving in. He will watch it fall in front of him. McKenzie to second base. It's a single for Kyler Fedko, and the Braves lead off with back-to-back singles.
Nice piece of hitting there by Fedko. Just fights off the off-speed pitch, and it is going to be Robert Carmody to come up. It looks like he's talking with Harvey Shapiro. It will most likely be a bunt situation, especially when you're 9-hole. You want to come up, lay a bunt, and move the runners over to second and third. So now Carmody is being brought in here, and it has a very important job of getting the bunt down.
The Braves have 6 sacrifice hits this year. That ranks just in the middle of the league. Here's Carmody with runners on first and second. He's 0 for 2, squares around the bunt, but Murphy steps off the mound. And now we'll have time called by the Harbor Hawks in a full-on infield meeting.
And they're going to want to talk about how they want to attack Robert Carmody here because we all know that a bunt's coming, so I think they're just meeting to make sure that we all have our assignments. Dunn was just brought into the game at third base, so they probably want to make sure that he knows his responsibility on the bunt coverage. If he's supposed to crash in when Carmody squares up, or if he's supposed to stay at third and let the first baseman Ian Fair come in and collect the ball. Probably just going over that information. And the meeting disperses, and now we're ready for some baseball.
Now, Ron Polk is the pitching coach for the Harbor Hawks, and wow, is he an interesting coach. The former coach of the Mississippi State Bulldogs, considered by many to be the father of SEC baseball. He's the winningest coach in SEC history in any sports. He spent 31 seasons as an SEC coach. Had over 1,100 wins. So he meets with Kyle Murphy. They discuss a game plan. Carmody's back in the box. He squared around a bunt. Murphy didn't throw it to him. Now squares around again. He scoots up to the front of the box, pulls it back, and watches ball one low. Kyler Fedko on first. Jake McKenzie at second. Cody Morissette is on deck. The tying run's on first here in the bottom of the sixth. It's only a 7-inning game. The righty comes set. Carmody shows bunt. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Carmody gets it down, but it comes back and hits him. That hit him when he was in the box. It would have been a great bunt if it wouldn't have come back and hit his chest, but it's a 1-1 count now. It's called a strike.
Yeah, this is why bunting is so important. That's why in BP, it's the first thing that you do. You start off with laying 3 to 4 bunts down because of situations like this. At this point, it should all just be muscle memory. You square up, you drop the bunt down the third base side to force either Lucas Dunn or pick it up and make a decision between throwing to third or first.
Carmody shows bunt. The 1-1 is down the first base line, but goes foul. Picked up by catcher Adam Hackenberg. It's now a 1-2 count, and the bunt possibility for Carmody is taken out.
Yeah, most likely Harvey Shapiro is not going to have the bunt sign on with 1 and 2, but we know stranger things have happened. A strikeout is not as bad as a double play, and there is that possibility where you swing away at this pitch and you hit into a 6-4-3.
Carmody back in the box. 4-2 lead for the Harbor Hawks. Murphy comes set. He squares around to bunt again. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Pulls it back and watches strike 3. It was an off speed from Kyle Murphy. Carmody strikes out for the second time looking tonight. And that is a big first out because now a double play gets you out of this inning.
Yeah, that's a killer right there. Harvey Shapiro is not going to be happy. It's a curveball, a big looping curveball that backs Carmody out of the box. He pulls back the bunt, and that was probably the best pitch to bunt right there. It was a lot slower, and if you get it down, you don't even need to really get it down the line since it's a sacrifice, but a strikeout nonetheless.
Now Cody Morissette swings at a high fastball. Morissette's 2 for 3, has had the best game so far. A double in the first, a single in the fifth. Both times he's come around to score. So he's been the only 2 runs of the game for the Braves. Murphy's hands meet at the belt. Here's the 0-1 delivery. A fastball inside. Morissette lays off. Called a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike.
And both the middle infielders pinching right now, waiting for that ground ball, that potential inning ender right now. Morissette has to be real careful.
Morissette with 12 RBIs on the year, watches the 1-1 off speed outside. The count is in his favor, 2 balls and 1 strike. Braves scored 1 in the bottom of the first by the RBI single by Judd Fabian, and 1 in the bottom of the 5th inning. RBI single by Jimmy Glowenke. His 8th RBI in 7 games, his 4th RBI of this doubleheader. It's a right-handed pitcher, left-handed batter matchup. Here's the 2-1 pitch to Morris that he swings at and fouls it off. I believe it hit the catcher. They're going to call catcher's interference. So the bat of Morissette came back and hit the glove, or maybe it could have been the helmet of Adam Hackenberg, and Chad Gassman is going to have a conversation with Mark Delaney.
Yeah, and Mark Delaney turns his back to him, and Gassman can't believe it. Hackenberg behind the plate looks stunned. He can't believe the call either. He doesn't even really know what happened. The Braves will take it. It's catcher's interference, so Morissette gets to go to first base. Now the bases are juiced here for Xavier Warren.
There's only 1 out in the inning. The Braves catch a break. There was the strikeout in the bottom of the 5th inning to Nick Bruiser on a arguable check swing call with the bases loaded. And that killed all momentum the Braves had. But now, in back-to-back innings, they load up the bases. And Xavier Warren, who has 1 hit so far today, comes up. He's 1 for 2 with a single and a walk. First pitch, Warren watches the fastball down the middle for a called strike 1.
Now, this is really the difference on how these two teams operate. Hyannis had bases loaded, nobody out. They were able to get 2 runs in. The Braves bases loaded, 1 out. Let's see how many, if any, they can get on the board.
Murphy comes set. Here's the 0-1 pitch. It's called a strike 2 on the outside corner. Xavier Warren's now down in the count 0-2. He struck out in the first inning. Walked in the fifth, singled in the third. Stole third base in the fifth inning as well.
This is very important. Hyannis literally fighting for their season in this game and this at-bat right now.
The 0-2 pitch from Murphy is a fastball low. Warren holds off 1 ball and 2 strikes. It's Jake McKenzie at third, Kyler Fedko at second, Cody Morissette over at first. Carmody struck out looking. 7 hits for the Braves. They're looking for just 1 more to try and tie this game up. 1-2 on Warren. Off speed, he takes to right field. It skips into right field. In comes McKenzie, being waved home is Fedko. The throw is not in time. The Braves tie it up in the 6th.
All it takes is 1 hit for Xavier Warren. He ties this game up. A ground ball in between Ian Fair and Anthony Servideo into right field. Hunter Goodman came up throwing, but it pulled Hackenberg away off the plate up the third base line. And this inning still not over yet. Runners on first and second. 2 runs are in, and here comes Judd Fabian.
Only 1 out in the inning. Fabian, who already has an RBI, now coming up. RBI single in the first. He struck out in his past 2 plate appearances. The middle 3, the 2, 3, and 4 batters are responsible for all 4 runs the Braves have had in this game, with Xavier Warren with 2 RBIs, Fabian with 1, and Glowenke with 1. First pitch to Fabian. It's off speed, and he watches low and inside for ball 1. Morissette's over on second. Warren is at first. Fabian, a dangerous hitter, leads this team with 5 home runs. The 1-0. Fastball low. 2 balls, no strikes.
I'll tell you what, Sam, I just have a feeling right now with Judd Fabian up there at the plate. You just kind of get one of those feelings in your gut. Fabian is prime for this moment. He's already had an RBI. He struck out his last 2 times, but that was both against Jonas Scalaro. He's going up against the righty here. I think he's going to get something he likes.
The 2-0 is off speed, and that was the pitch that he likes, and he holds off. It's a called strike. 2 balls and 1 strike count now to Fabian.
Yeah, it looked like he was clearly expecting fastball right there. He got the big curveball, hanging curveball there from Murphy. He lays off of it. Hopefully he sees something just as good here.
Here's the 2-1 pitch to Fabian. It's a fastball. Fabian lays off, and it's called a ball outside. It's a 3-1 count on Judd Fabian, and following this, it doesn't get any easier in Jimmy Glowenke.
Yeah, 3-1. You'd imagine this has to be a fastball here from Kyle Murphy. Where is he going to place it, and can Fabian get a bat on it?
3-1. He does get a bat, but it's a slow roller over to second. Servideo picks it up, throws to first, and Fabian is out for the second out of the inning. But both runners move up 90 feet. Morissette to third, Warren to second.
Well, Murphy gets lucky there. He suffers a 3-1 count, and now I believe we're going to see a new pitcher coming in to face Jimmy Glowenke. Here comes Chad Gassman, and Murphy not happy, but it is going to be a new arm coming in for the Harbor Hawks.
4-4 game. Bottom of the 6th inning. 2 outs, runners on second and third, and the Harbor Hawks will make a pitching change right before they throw to Jimmy Glowenke. We will take a quick timeout. 4-4 game. You're watching Braves Baseball on YouTube. New pitcher for the Harbor Hawks with runners on second and third to face Jimmy Glowenke. Jordan, it's Landon Kelly.
Yeah, Kelly out of Memphis. He's 0-0 on the year, an ERA of 3. However, he's only pitched in 2 games. He's making his 3rd appearance tonight. He joined this team late. He's thrown 3 innings in both of his appearances, one against Harwich, one against Orleans. He comes into this game with opposing hitters batting .250 and a whip of 1.33. He's in a tough spot here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 6th inning.
The first pitch to Glowenke is off speed. He watches for a called strike 1. Glowenke is 1 for 2 so far. Had the RBI single in the bottom of the 5th inning. He has 8 RBIs in his past 7 games and 4 RBIs in this doubleheader series. Had a solo shot in game 1. Here's the 0-1. Just gets a piece of it. Glowenke falls behind 0-2. Cody Morissette is on third. Xavier Warren is on second. Morissette got on by the catcher's interference, which is now coming back to be a huge play in this game. And Warren had a 2 RBI single that tied this game up at 4 here in the bottom of the 6th. Kelly, the right-handed pitcher, comes set. Here's the 0-2 pitch on Jimmy Glowenke. He fouls off and stays in the at-bat 0-2.
Yeah, does a nice job there. Gets a fastball, fouls it off. At an 0-2 count, Glowenke really needs to expand his zone here. You have to watch out against the nasty stuff, and you might see Glowenke swing at a pitch or 2 out of the strike zone just because he's in that defensive state. You have to go, if you're going to go down, you'd much rather go down swinging than looking here with the potential winning run on third base.
Here's the 0-2 pitch from Kelly. It's off speed and taken to third base, picked up by Dunn. The throw to first is in time. It almost skipped into left field, but Lucas Dunn was able to glove it and throw out Glowenke. We head to the final frame, tied up at 4. Top of the 7th coming up. You're watching Bourne Braves Baseball on YouTube. The Braves trying to clinch a playoff spot has come a little bit harder than what was expected. A 4-4 game as we enter the final frame, the 7th. Of course, the doubleheader rules, 2 7-inning games. Tyler Brocious back on the mound to face the bottom 2 in Rowdy Jordan and Anthony Servideo, and then back up to the top in Jordan Westberg.
At bat, number 7 from Mississippi State.
And it's been a crazy game so far. The Braves have been down by 1 or 2 runs seemingly the entire game. They go into the bottom of the 6th, trailing by 2. They make both those runs up with a clutch inning. Now let's see if Tyler Brocious on the mound can get them into the 7th with the possibility to walk it off.
Brocious struck out 2 to end the top of the 6th. The first pitch to Rowdy Jordan is a fastball called strike 1. Jordan is 0 for 1, a fly out to center and a walk so far in this game. This is his 3rd at-bat. Brocious comes set. The 0-1 pitch to Jordan from the submarine pitcher almost hits him. He ducks out of the way. A fastball almost got him in on the hands. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Yeah, heads up right there to Rowdy Jordan. Almost gets hit on the pitch. And if you're Tyler Brocious, you can't defend against the walk. We saw in the last inning that Burzell he gave up 2 walks, and one out of those walks came around to score. The other was stranded on third.
1-1. Outside. Bounces in front of Robert Carmody's glove. 2 balls and 1 strike. Of course, a doubleheader today because last night's game was canceled due to field conditions. So the Braves on Tuesday were the only team to play on the Cape against Katuitt. Every other game got canceled except for YD and Wareham that was played in Hartford. And the Braves yesterday were the only team to get rained out. 2-1. Jordan check swing called, strike 2, and the count evens up 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, and part of the reason the game yesterday, you have to imagine, was called because both teams knew that they were going to play each other the next day. They were scheduled to play 2 games in a row on 2 days. So might as well just be safe. Don't want to risk any injuries. Go out and play a double the next day.
The 2-2 on Rowdy Jordan. He just gets a piece of it and fouls back to the backstop. The last time these 2 teams will face off in the regular season. Hyannis has the regular season series lead 3-2. Sweeping the doubleheader on July 10th and winning the first matchup on June 30th. The Braves have won the past 2. Here's the 2-2 on Jordan. Off speed, slow rolling ground ball. Morissette charges in, gloves it, tosses to first, and it's in time. Rowdy Jordan will be the first out of the 7th.
Big out right there by Tyler Brocious, who's come into this game, and he's looked like the Tyler Brocious of old. He's given up. He had a ground out, another ground ball that was allowed to go to first because of an error, and then 2 strikeouts, and now a 3rd ground ball that is recorded for an out. Tyler Brocious is really having his get-back game right now.
Now it's Anthony Servideo. The first pitch from Brocious is an off-speed in there for a strike. The Tyler Brocious we see now is the Tyler Brocious that was pitching in the first quarter of the season. One that collected 4 saves, a league-leading number at the time. The 0-1. A fastball called, a strike on the outside part of the plate. It's 0-2 on Servideo. A late call from home plate umpire Mark Delaney, but it's a strike nonetheless. 1 out, nobody on. 4-4 game in the top of the 7th inning. Only way the Braves can win is on the walk-off. Here's the 0-2. Servideo swings and misses. The 3rd strikeout for Tyler Brocious tonight, and there's 2 quick outs. As we head to the top half of this Hyannis lineup, it'll be Jordan Westberg with 2 outs, nobody on.
And he's done a good job here because you go up against the tough outs and Westberg and Fair and Goodman and to a lesser extent DeSantolo. You definitely want to face those batters without anybody on base.
Here's the first pitch to Westberg. It's a foul tip back into the glove of Carmody for a strike. Westberg's 0 for 2. 2 flyouts to left and a walk where he came around to score in the 6th inning. On 1. Westberg watches strike 2 down the middle for Brocious, and he quickly has Westberg in an 0-2 hole.
Yeah, you can tell that Brocious is back to himself right now. You can tell he's definitely in a rhythm and in a zone right now. Only 1 more strike before the Braves can go and try and win this game.
0-2 on Westberg. A little chopper off the end of the bat. Cody Morissette leaps and makes the play at second base. Hyannis goes down in order, 8, 9, and 1. No hits and no runs. The Braves coming to try and end this one on a walk-off in the bottom of the 7th and send themselves to the postseason. We're all tied up 4-4, and you do not want to miss this final frame. You're watching Braves Baseball on YouTube.
34 from LSU.
Cade Beloso will lead things off in the bottom of the 7th inning with the Braves looking to win it on a walk-off against the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. And remember, a win sends the Braves to the postseason. Cade Beloso will lead things off. His first at-bat of the game, he'll watch ball 1 low from pitcher Landon Kelly, who came on in the last inning. Beloso is in the middle of one of the biggest slumps of his career. The 1-0 is a grounder over to second. Servideo hops up on it. Throw to first is in time, and Beloso is thrown out for the first out of the inning.
That's tough for Cade Beloso. Brought in an opportunity to get on base and really become a difference maker in this game. It's all for naught. Now here comes Nick Bruiser, who's had a very frustrating night at the plate.
Bruiser 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts, and his last strikeout was the more frustrating one. The first pitch is off speed, slides in the zone from Kelly, 0-1. It was a check swing that was called strike 3 by home player, first base umpire Dave Vivieras. 0-1, slides in the zone again. It's now 0-2. So Bruiser looking for some redemption. Nobody on, 4-4 game. This game will go 1 inning of extra innings into the 8th. The 0-2 is a check swing that he did go around on. It's the 3rd strikeout of the game for Bruiser, and McKenzie comes up. The last hope for the Braves to try and end this one in the regulation 7 innings.
Yeah, it's just been one of those nights for Nick Bruiser. He tosses the helmet over toward the bat boys. He's very upset, and with good reason. 0 for 4, 3 strikeouts. It's been a tough night for the first baseman, now the right fielder.
McKenzie's 1 for 2. Here's the first pitch. It's off speed, high and tight, misses the zone, 1-0. He singled in the 6th, came around to score, struck out looking in the 4th, and walked in the 2nd inning, and was caught stealing in that inning as well. The 1-0 from Kelly. McKenzie, a half-hearted swing on an off speed. I'll even up the count, 1-1.
Yeah, really pulled the string there, did Kelly, because he had McKenzie way out in front.
1-0 is outside, 1-1's outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Nobody on, 2 outs. Bottom of the 7th inning. Here's the 2-1 pitch from Kelly. It's low, and it's now a 3-1 count for Jake McKenzie. McKenzie trying to send his team to the playoffs. Here's the 3-1 pitch from Kelly, and he sends a ball to deep center field. Rowdy Jordan is looking up. It is it's over the wall. It'll be a ground rule double for McKenzie, who just missed a walk-off solo shot by maybe a few inches.
And the interesting thing is the bullpen is all signaling that ball went over the fence, and it's hard to tell. The umpires having to run all the way out there. It was very close. Almost all 3 set of Harbor Hawks players raised their hand at the exact same time. It's tough to tell with the clear fences where exactly that ball landed. Nonetheless, a ground rule double for Jake McKenzie, close to being a walk-off home run, but a base hit here from Fedko wins it and sends the Braves into the playoffs.
And Fedko did get a base hit in his last at-bat in the 6th and came around to score later in that inning. The winning run's on second. Here's the first pitch from Kelly. It's off speed and in the zone on the inside part of the plate for a strike. The Braves have 1 walk-off win coming back on June 16th against the Orleans Firebirds in the 2nd game of a doubleheader. Coming from Alec Burleson, got a walk-off single. 0-1 on Fedko. Swinging strike, fouls it back toward the backstop, and he's in an 0-2 hole.
You have to really watch the off-speed stuff here, but that's what Fedko hits into right field. It was an off-speed pitch that he really fought off well. And what a chance, what a confidence boost this has the opportunity to be for Kyler Fedko. He struggled to this point in the season. He got a hit in his last at-bat and has the opportunity to be the person that sends the Braves into the postseason.
0-2 on Fedko. Got him swinging, and it bounces in the dirt, so the drop third is applied. Throw to first. Fedko is thrown out. The Braves leave the winning run on second when the winning run was a few inches from getting out on a almost home run from Jake McKenzie, and we head to extras, the 8th inning here at Doran Park, the first extra inning game here for the Braves this season, all tied up 4-4. You're watching Braves Baseball on YouTube. New arm for the Bourne Braves. Tyler Brocious is taken out after doing a solid job out of the bullpen. And Jordan, it'll be Carl Johnson, who, like Tyler Brocious, he started off strong, and his past couple outings have not been the best.
Yeah, this is an opportunity to have a get-back game for him, too. Carl Johnson has been really struggling as of late, and that includes the All-Star game he'd appeared in.
The first pitch is to Rigsby Mosley, is fouled off into the glove of Carmody for a strike, 0-1.
Johnson on the season, a 1-1 record of 3.85 ERA. He's making his 10th appearance tonight, thrown 16 1/3.
0-1 to Mosley is a hard swinging strike. He falls behind 0-2.
The problem with Carl Johnson is that he's given up a run in every appearance, make that 4, including the All-Star game, since July 13th.
0-2 is outside. Mosley doesn't chase for it. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Rigsby Mosley is 2 for 3. 2 singles and a fly out. On both those singles, he later came around to score. 1-2. Mosley fouls it off. Back behind the plate. We'll do the 1 ball, 2 strike count yet again. This is the first extra inning game for the Braves this season. They had their first tie against Katuitt 2 nights ago. The 1-2 is chopped over to first. It will be foul. Picked up by Cade Beloso and almost came back into fair territory, but Beloso picks it up foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes yet again.
Yeah, with Johnson, really, his season turned July 16th at YD. Through 1 inning, gave up 4 runs off 4 hits, and since then it's been a spiral.
1-2 is lifted to center field. That's Kyler Fedko is moving to his left. He will make the out for the first out of the inning. Fedko's now in center. And that's the first out of the top of the 8th. Now it's Ian Fair.
So the Braves are just 2 outs away from guaranteeing not to lose in this game.
First pitch to Ian Fair is a check swing strike. Nick Bruiser moved to right since Cade Beloso moved into first base. Here's the 0-1 pitch from Carl Johnson and another swing from Ian Fair. He's now down 0-2, and Fair's had a pretty nice one. He's 1 for 2, single in the 4th, struck out in the 1st, and walked in the 6th. Johnson comes set. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Fair. He flies out going foul toward the trees on the right field side. Fair will do it again, 0-2, and this has been the most dangerous part of the lineup for Hyannis all season.
Yeah, especially with that guy on deck.
Talking about Hunter Goodman. Already has 3 of the 4 runs scored. 3 RBIs for him. 1-2 now as the pitch was high from Carl Johnson. One, two. Fair grounder right over to Cody Morissette at second. He gloves it, throws to first, and Ian Fair is thrown out for the second out of the inning. That's exactly what Carl Johnson needs, Jordan. 2 quick outs here in a desperate time for Hyannis.
Yeah, it's really a nice opportunity here for Johnson just to get his bearings back on the mound. He hasn't been himself as of late. He threw in the All-Star game, actually got credited with the loss for that as well. He's done well so in this game so far. 2 up, 2 down.
First pitch to Hunter Goodman is off speed and inside, called a ball. Goodman is 1 for 3. 2-run home run in the first inning. Struck out in the 4th and grounded out in the 6th, but got credited for an RBI. The 1-0 is lifted to shallow right field. Cody Morissette, the second baseman, is calling everybody off, and he drops it in shallow right field. Goodman gets to second. Morissette looked like he had tracked that one in, and for the second time today, the Braves drop a routine fly ball.
Yeah, that was a moon ball off the bat of Hunter Goodman straight up into the night sky. Hit a ton into the air, not with any distance in shallow right field. Morissette called everybody off. He said he's got it, and it looks like he lost it just as when the ball was coming down. Didn't really look very confident coming down with the ball, and now a base hit can score Hunter Goodman from second base.
And he's the potential winning run. Oh, how huge that error for Morissette could be. Now it's Jared DeSantolo. DeSantolo's 0 for 3. First pitch from Johnson is a fastball low and outside. Cade Beloso dropped one in the first game today. A routine fly out to first, bounced off his glove. And Morissette, who almost actually tracked that one in off the bounce, he ends up completely dropping it. 1-0, fastball high at the letters, called a ball, and DeSantolo has a good count, 2-0.
Yeah, and 4. Carl Johnson, he really needs to zone in, not let that air get to him. He still has 2 outs. If he can go out and attack DeSantolo, that air will not matter.
2-0 is popped high, going foul on the third base side. It's into the seats for the first strike of the at-bat, 2-1. Carl Johnson actually picked up the loss in the All-Star game for the West. Allowed 2 runs to come across the plate. The East walked it off on Sunday. Here's the 2-1 pitch. DeSantolo flies it out, foul territory, and hits the high school. Count evens up, and the deuces are wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the top of the 8th inning. Runner on second in a 4-4 game. We're in the 8th inning, but this is extra innings as this game was only slated to go 7. Johnson, the righty, comes set. The 2-2 on DeSantolo is off speed, just called a ball a little too far outside. That is a tough call for Mark Delaney, the home plate umpire. It goes as a ball, and now DeSantolo will step out of the box.
Yeah, tough pitch there, breaking ball, and Mark Delaney calling that one outside. The Braves have had some problems with his strike zone tonight, and you never want to blame an umpire for the game's outing. He just needs to make a good pitch here.
Payoff on DeSantolo is a hard-hit ground ball to Glowenke. The throw to first is in time, and the Braves get out of it. The error to Morissette doesn't end up being anything. Hunter Goodman is left on second base. We head to the bottom of the 8th inning. Braves looking to avoid the tie and win it on a walk-off to send them to the postseason. We're all tied at 4. You're watching Braves Baseball on YouTube. Bottom of the 8th inning. This is the last chance for the Braves to win this on a walk-off and make it to the postseason tonight. The magic number, of course, is at 5. Brendan Rivoli will come up, and it's a new arm for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. TJ Stewart comes up from Manhattan College to try and make this game a tie.
Yeah, here's TJ Stewart, 0-1 on the year, a 7.2 ERA, making his 5th appearance. The last time he threw was about 11 days ago against Chatham. He threw an inning, giving up 1 hit, 1 strikeout, and 3 batters faced. Opposing hitters hitting .315 off him. He's got a whip of 1.6. So there is usually at least one runner who gets on base when he's on the mound, and it'll be a pinch hitter, Brendan Rivoli, to try and get things started in the 9th.
Robert Carmody's night ends. He goes 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts, and now it's Brendan Rivoli who went 1 for 2 in the first game of this doubleheader and watches a first pitch fastball strike from TJ Stewart. Rivoli, a 148 average. And he's just looking to get on base. Here's the 0-1 pitch. It's a fastball outside for Rivoli. 1 ball and 1 strike. He got the start earlier today. Started at catcher. And he won't have to do any catching in this game because this is the final half inning. 1-1. Off speed. Rivoli fouls off, heading into foul territory. Rivoli's now down 1 ball and 2 strikes. After this, it's back to the top of the lineup, and Cody Morissette and Xavier Warren.
That's who you want up at the plate. 1 swing of the bat. It could be Rivoli, it could be Morissette, or it could be Warren. That's all it takes to end this game.
The 1-2 on Rivoli is singled right back up the middle. TJ Stewart had the glove out. It just missed him on a line out and gets to center field. Rivoli is on, and he's the winning run.
And that brings up Cody Morissette, who has been on base 3 times tonight. The last of which because of a catcher's interference call, but he's going to be looking for redemption after dropping that ball in the top half of the 8th inning. He's looking to make up for that with a base hit here. Really, all you have to make sure of is you move Brendan Rivoli to second base.
10 hits for the Braves, 4 runs for them, 4-4 game in the bottom of the 8th inning. Stewart comes set. Morissette squares around the bunt. He doesn't get it down. It's a called strike 1. He left it out there. Catcher Adam Hackenberg being extremely aggressive, watching Rivoli's every move over at first. A win gives the Braves a postseason berth. It would knock their magic number down to 1, and it would cause a tiebreaker between them and Hyannis, and whoever had the best record in the West, which would be the Braves, are sent to the postseason. The 0-1 is skied foul on a bunt attempt by Morissette, and he's now down 0-2.
Yeah, and that gets real careful there because when you pop a bunt up, it's pretty much the same as a strikeout. The runner doesn't get to move, and you have an out. I'm surprised Dunn did not lay out for that ball. If he dove, it looks like he would have been at least close to making an opportunity for a catch. But now 0-2, Morissette not likely to bunt anymore.
Right-handed pitcher, left-handed batter matchup. Rivoli a few steps off first. The 0-2 to Morissette is a swinging strike 3. Stewart gave him a high fastball. Morissette chased, and he's the first out of the inning. Now Xavier Warren coming up.
And that's strikeout number 11 in this game. The Braves normally aren't strikeout heavy, but they are tonight with 11 strikeouts, 6 of them coming from Scalaro. Now 1 out, and a ground ball can get Hyannis out of this doubleheader with their season still with a slimmer of hope.
1 out, runner on first. First pitch to Xavier Warren is an off-speed, catching the zone on the outside corner for strike 1. Xavier Warren, the last time he was up, tied this game at 4, a 2 RBI single in the bottom of the 6th. He's been on base 3 times today. 0-1. Fastball low. Warren lays off. 1 ball and 1 strike.
You want to be smart up here. You don't want to have any pitches you swing at be outside of the zone. I'd be surprised here if Stewart is not working down. Try and work at the knees and force that double play.
Throw back to first. Rivoli gets back to the bag on time. Ian Fair covering the bag. Warren switching it up, batting from the left side now. He's homered from both sides of the plate. First time he's facing TJ Stewart tonight. He comes set. Here's the 1-1. A fastball right down the plate. And Warren is now down to a ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, he started his game off with a strikeout, and he definitely does not want to have his game be bookended with strikeouts. Started off the game with a strikeout and trying to avoid ending his game with a strikeout.
Braves haven't won a game in over a week. Or excuse me, they won earlier today, but early before that, 1-2 is low and outside for a called ball, 2-2. You know, that
it's
first
been a long
game,
night.
It's been a long night.
It's been a long night.
It's been a long one. It's been a long one. It's cold.
It's a little chilly out here. Yeah, it definitely is. Sometimes, you get wrapped up in the excitement of this game, and, one swing of the bat here from Xavier Warren could be all the Braves need to send them into the playoffs.
Stewart comes set. Here's the 2-2. Warren drives it to right field. It'll go down in front of Hunter Goodman. Rivoli is moving to third. Goodman throws in. Rivoli gets there in time, and Warren gets to second. It's a double for Xavier Warren. The winning run is 90 feet away.
And how about that base running from Brendan Rivoli? He read it so well off the bat that he was able to take third. And I would be surprised if they pitched to Judge Fabian here. Runners on second and third with first base open. If I'm Chad Gassman, I intentionally walk Judge Fabian, put him on first base, and then try and get the double play with bases loaded.
Well, it's tough because if you walk Fabian, you move to Glowenke, and we know how good Glowenke has been. Here's Fabian. Runners on second and third. The one on third is the one that matters, and they will intentionally walk John Fabian to get to Jimmy Glowenke.
And for me, that's a no-brainer right there. It's not necessarily because you want to face Jimmy Glowenke. That's not necessarily it. With first base open, you have to fill him up because those 2 runs on second and on first don't matter. They don't mean anything. If that run from third comes in to score, that's all that matters. So you walk Fabian, not necessarily, like I said, because you want to face Glowenke, but because you give yourself an out. You give yourself that double play opportunity, and it looks like Hackenberg wanted to go meet with his pitcher on the mound, and I'm not sure that there's any mound visits remaining. Now we're going to have a meeting between Mark Delaney and Dave Viveros over, I'd imagine, over mound visits remaining.
Yeah, it was. He sent them over to meet with TJ Stewart. Glowenke, 8 RBIs his last 7 games. He had an RBI single in the 5th inning. He's 1 for 3, 2 groundouts to third as well. Braves with 1 walk-off hit earlier this year on June 16th coming from Alec Burleson. And Glowenke is looking to send the Braves to the postseason. Bases loaded, 1 out, bottom of the 8th inning, 4-4 game. TJ Stewart comes set, the infield playing in. The first pitch to Glowenke, he fouls off the bat. And back to the backstop. He's down 0-1.
Yeah, Jimmy Glowenke, very aggressive up there at the plate. Going after that first pitch. The infield coming and playing on the grass. The outfield coming and playing way up as well. Do or die territory. No reason to really back up. So if Glowenke is able to get under 1 here, that's all the Braves need to win this game.
Stewart comes set. Kicks and fires the 0-1. It's a fastball inside. Glowenke ducks out of it. 1 ball and 1 strike. Braves missed out on the postseason last year. They made the championship in 2017. Now they're looking for their spot in the CCBL playoffs in 2019. The 1-1. Glowenke drives one left field, going foul, and he's down 1 ball and 2 strikes. A lot of contact on that pitch. It just curved foul and went over by the parking lot. Glowenke down to 2 strikes.
Yeah, he killed that pitch. The problem was he was way early on the off speed, way ahead of it. The adrenaline's got to be pumping right now for Glowenke. He's been swinging a hot bat. He's got his back against the wall here with 2 strikes.
TJ Stewart steps off the mound. A big moment for him. The best Hyannis can do in this game is tie. They lost to the Braves earlier today. The 1-2. Off speed, Glowenke to center field. Rowdy Jordan fields it. Coming home is Rivoli. He will slide in safely, and the Braves win the game. They're headed to the playoffs.
It wasn't as pretty as he would have liked, but he gets the job done. Jimmy Glowacki with a sacrifice fly into center field. Rowdy Jordan comes up throwing, and the throw bounces off home plate. That's all that matters, because incoming to score is the speedy Brendan Ravoli. How big is it that he advanced all the way to third on that Xavier Warren base hit? He comes in to score, and just like that, Jimmy Glowacki sends the Braves into the playoffs.
Jay Glow wins the game, his second RBI, and get this, for the doubleheader, he ends with 5 RBIs. What a day for him, and what a hitting stretch for Jimmy Glowacki. The Braves win it 5-4, and they sweep the Hyannis Harbor Hawks here at Doran Park. They go to the playoffs because their magic number is now 1, so the best Hyannis can do is tie if they win out, and so the tiebreaker then goes to the season series. Well, the Braves and the Hyannis Harbor Hawks tie the season series at 3-3. So it goes to the best record in the West, and the Braves will end up with the best record in the West between them and the Harbor Hawks, as the Braves' Western record now moves to 9-10-1. So for the first time since 2017, the Braves head to the postseason, and Jordan, it's got to be a great feeling.
Yeah, definitely a great feeling. You know, the Braves, for the longest time, I think they probably knew they were going to the playoffs, but to actually get the job done and beat Hyannis 2 games in a row. They started off 0-3. They take 3 straight from Hyannis, if you include that game back on July 10th. And this was a gritty game for the Braves. They were down for almost the entirety of the game, down by 2 runs after they gave up 2 in the top of the 6th, come back right in the bottom, retie it up. They avoid the tie. They did their job. How about Brendan Ravoli getting a pinch hit single in the 8th inning, advancing to third on the Warren single, and then Jimmy Glowacki doing what he's been doing the last week and a half for the Braves, getting RBIs.
Carl Johnson gets the win for the Bourne Braves. Getting the loss is TJ Stewart. And the Braves win this one 5-4. An RBI sac fly by Jimmy Glowacki ends this one at Doran Park. We'll be back right here at Doran Park at 6 o'clock against the Chatham Anglers in the 37th game of the season. But the Braves clinch a playoff berth. They will most likely have that 4th spot in the West. That'll be it. Alongside Jordan Palacio, I'm Sam Wiederhalf saying have a great night, everybody. The Braves walk it off.